Hello and welcome to the Labour Social here on Labour Social. I'm joined today by Darren Blase Thompson and also Super Tansky. Super T, how you doing? How you doing down there? You alright?
How
You been having fun? You been having fun with Aid? Now we're Aid.
I always have fun with Aid.
Hey,
Take it way too far, man.
You've just been doing your roundup of the year, haven't you?
Yeah, but we kind of like we ended up going off on some pretty mad tangents. It was
It's got to be
mixture
done.
of anger, sweariness, piss taking, and taking it too far. Like
Excellent.
we had a little chat about Farage, how it would feel to physically, how it would feel to Farage, and my only response was joyful. And then I went on to talk about how startlingly rare it is that people ever come out of plane crashes unscathed.
Yes.
So
actually, that's not technically true, and this is something that we'll probably talk about in the next hour when we're talking about mystery hour stuff. Most people survive the crash; they just don't get out the plane in time.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, they don't get out the plane out because they're frozen in fear. You know, so you have fight or flight, but also you have freeze. So if something really traumatic has happened, like your plane has crashed, a lot of people freeze and they don't know what to do.
You see, I leg it.
Dark and scary.
Leg it. I'm a run.
Leg it. I always count the number of seats to the emergency exit and memorize it.
I don't see that there's any point, to be honest with you.
Well, no, there is, because you might survive.
But to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you, Graham. It takes a lot of Valium and wine to even get me on a plane. It's unnatural. I have to literally. As if it I go to the doctor and I'm like, oh, I'm afraid of flying. Give me the lovely Valium, and then I'll just munch a bunch of Valium and then knock back a couple of wines, and then I'm just I don't care whether.
Well, we are waiting currently on Wayne in Basildon because he's got the freaking board game that we're supposed to be playing, and I've sent him the Zoom link and I've not hit anything back. So I don't know if he's got out for. I don't know if he's got out for a Christmas drink or something at the local pub. I don't know where the fuck he is.
John Waters in the chat, but John Waters not. John, why aren't you on the
stream? John, come on the stream. John, go in the Labour Social WhatsApp. Get that bloody link. He said he was going to come on. He said he was going to come on.
John.
What? Join us,
John. You bloody
Join us, John. So while we're waiting for, in the interim, we're going to play Interim Mystery Hour, okay? And we want you to ask us questions, and we're going to discuss what we think of the answers to the questions. So can you ask us a question? I've got a question for the chat that I want answered. How come when you get a kebab in Durham, it's like a deconstructed kebab? Like they give you your meat, and then separately to that, they give you the salad. And then separately to that, they give you, oh, here we go. We've got Bowler Hat Man. And we've got John. Brilliant.
Oh, hang on.
All aboard.
Josh.
All aboard. We've got everyone.
Now,
and I'm in the wrong place on the
insight into Josh's murder board then.
Did we?
Yeah,
Are we seeing murder board?
I've seen it before. We just saw your murder board, Josh.
Camera. Brilliant. Love it.
Briefly, very briefly, but that was a very brief insight into Josh's brain.
How is it?
Have you seen Seven?
First time I'm joining without hair as well.
Oh wow! You look fabulous.
I've got new
fabulous,
hair.
darling.
I went to the hairdressers.
Is that so that the green screen is that so the green screen doesn't get confused by your hair?
For the time being.
That's why I shaved my head.
I don't know what to do with my hair, so you know what? I'll just start again. Just start again.
Just start again.
Blonded up.
Start all over again.
I won't worry about it, Ollie. You've still got more hair than me.
Yeah. Right, John Mortar's in the chat, famous for getting Rage Against the Machine to #1, and then the Justice Collector to #1.
It's Christmas chart week.
It is Christmas chart week. So who do you want to get to #1 this year, John? It's going to be Fairy Tale New York, isn't it?
I have been working with Stephen Fry, and he is in the mix. But
hasn't he done a song with EMF? As in, you're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had a Zoom with them, and it was mental. It was just the craziest thing. So to be on a sort of a connect, on that whole thing with EMF and Stephen Fry, and there's my mugshot in the middle of it all. It was just mad, crazy.
You had a chat with Stephen Fry.
Yay!
Oh my god!
Oh, God.
Oh, it's gels.
Oh
Big gels over here.
Yeah, it was good. And he indulged me because I just said, "Do you mind just once? May I call you my colleague?" And he said, "Yes, you can, my colleague. John, my colleague. It's fine." I was, that's it. That's it. That's it. Done.
Oh,
done.
Brilliant. Love it.
So,
love it.
So
just before you guys arrived, I was just saying we're waiting on Wayne because he's got the bloody board game that we're supposed to be playing tonight, but he's disappeared. I don't know where he is. In the meantime, I thought we could just play a game ourselves of Mystery Hour. Now, have you all listened to it on the radio? Do you know what Mystery Hour is?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so on Thursday Thursday at 12, James O'Brien on LBC does an hour where he asks, he gets people to call in with questions about stuff. So it'd be like, why do ducks quack? And someone will ask that question, and then other people have to call in with the correct answer, but you're not allowed to Google.
What if none of us know the answer, though?
Well, then you make something up, which is what a lot of people do when they call in.
Would I lie to you? Isn't it?
And they have 2 levels of awesomeness. So if you get a round of applause, that's for getting an answer right, or an answer that he likes. And if you get a really good answer in, or you're very well qualified, you get a Ray Liotta, named after the late actor, which was a little sound clip that James O'Brien got of Ray Liotta saying, "I'm Ray Liotta, and you're listening to James O'Brien on LBC." If you build it, they will come.
Yes, it.
Yes, that's the one. From Field of Dreams. So I was in the middle of asking a question, guys, and this is the question, right? In Durham, they deconstruct your kebab. So you go into a kebab shop, and I've been to several kebab shops in Durham, and they all do this. So you get your meat, and then you get your pita bread separate, and then you get your salad separate to that, and you get your dips in little dippy things. It's like going in to I don't know, Subway, and them just giving you the bread and the filling. Do you know what I mean? And going, here you go, mate. And you're like, do I get a knife to spread it? No, just there's all the bits. You put it together yourself. And I want to know, is that just unique to Durham, or do other places around the country do that madness?
I wouldn't know, because I hate kebabs, man. It's just unspecified meat. It's just I'm not eating that nonsense. And I'd also never eat in a Subway, so I'm out.
Okay, you're out of that one. I think Josh has got. Josh, do you know?
Yeah, no, for me, that kind of kebab is actually the right way to do it.
No, it's not. What? Blasphemy!
Get some rice,
What? No, don't get any rice with it, mate. It's just you've got to cut open the pita bread with your finger, and then pick up the doner meat and put it in, and you're stuffing it. It's just not nice.
Is it just one kebab shop, or is this?
No, 3 different kebab shops. I've been in Durham. Do this, and I said to one of them, "Do you separate it out?" And they went, "Yeah." I went, "Is that just a Durham thing?" And said, "Well, I used to work at a kebab shop in Leeds, and they don't do it there." And I'm like, "Yeah, because it's fucking crazy."
Why are you doing it here, you dickhead?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I mean, Leeds.
John, have you got anything to add to this enigma? Have you ever had a deconstructed kebab?
No, I mean, in Essex here, they just slap it all in a bun and throw it at you. I mean,
you call the man boss man, and then you're
on your way. This is the way to do it.
That's right. Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
Deconstructed. What's all that about?
Don't you deconstruct it?
Hey, look, the invite to Brighton is obviously there. You all know that. Now I will take you for a proper kebab.
And I can guarantee you that this guy knows his shit, because I went to Brighton and I hung out with Martini and Josh, and he took me to the best falafel place. I actually...
Are you having a falafel?
Oh my God, eating this falafel. I just wanted to just shove it all directly into my face. It was amazing. What was the name of that place?
It was called I Love Falafel.
Hey! That is a good name for a falafel place, I've got to say.
It was incredible. It was the best falafel I've ever had in my life. I actually felt almost kind of like it was like you and Martini were invading on a really private moment between me and this falafel. It felt like the music came in, that's how good it was. So yeah, go to that place. It's amazing.
Vendetta in the chat is saying in Leeds it's all in one, but when you get it, it's as soggy as fuck. That's why pita bread sucks, and what you want to do is get a Manchester Abdul's kebab, proper kebab, which comes in a naan bread, and it's about this big.
A naan would make more sense for a
kebab,
I think.
It makes so much sense. And I don't know why they don't have a franchise around the country, like a drive-through kebab place.
Or
we can drive, wind down the window. It's probably your like racist nightmare, Tan. A drive-through kebab.
I just think they're just disgusting. Like, I don't eat, mind you, I don't eat lamb or pork.
Yes, I know. You told me that after you came round to ours for a roast, and on the way you went, "Oh, by the way, I don't eat any roast meats."
No, I said
maybe I should have told you that before we got there.
I told you way too late. I admit.
I'm so looking forward to this roast. Oh, by the way, I don't eat roasts.
No, I just don't eat those two meats specifically.
Those are the main two things you have in roast.
No, you have chicken, you have beef, you have other stuff, but I honestly, I don't. But mind you, I'm phasing out basically all meat now.
We're going to do a nut roast next time you're up in Liverpool.
Oh, I am.
I don't even know what that is.
I have a bloody nut roast.
Michael says pizza kebab sounds revolting. I've had kebab meat on pizza and it's awesome.
No.
I tell you what, it's disgusting. Scouse on pizza. 1 year in Global Scouse Day in Liverpool, which is on February the 28th. I should remember that since it's my birthday. They did one place. They did a Scouse pizza, and because it had Scouse, it had potatoes on it and carrots, carrots on pizza, and it was just the most disgusting thing.
No, that's screwed up, man.
It was horrible.
Carb. That's committing carbicide.
It was horrific. It was horrific.
What? Yeah, that's like a Yorkshire pudding wrap.
Oh no, I'd be all over a Yorkshire pudding wrap.
They are lovely. Leeds, and of course, the original York place is the best.
Oh my god! Just
to
answer the question, I am drinking Baileys and milk.
Yes.
Oh wow, you dirty bastard! Love it.
Oh, you've got Oatly what?
Chocolate Oatly.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I've had a bit of a rough couple of weeks, and I've got well into of an evening having like an oat hot chocolate almost the size of my face. Like I've got big mugs, so I've just been filling it up with like really nice Clipper hot chocolate and oat milk. So I understand what you're doing there. Well
got
done.
a chocolate cream rum for Christmas.
No airs and graces here, Strongbow.
What is it? Wrongbow?
Strongbow. No airs and graces here.
Wrongbow down here, mate. I'm on the old Sauvignon Blanc. It's a really nice New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. It's doing the job.
I'm drinking Peroni because my brother's here and he brought a pack of Peroni.
Very nice.
Which I don't normally drink. I normally just get the cheap stuff from Lidl, but this is all right.
I've got my Wham last Christmas with the bendy star.
I got Whamageddon on Wednesday. I was out with Ben Chambers and we went to the food pit in Durham and they played Last Christmas.
You got Whamageddon?
Bastards, yeah.
Well, if you think that's bad, I actually got Whamageddon on the same day my cat died. So it was a double blow.
I'm so sorry.
I know, it was great. And the worst thing about it was that I only realised 9 days in that Whamageddon was happening, and I'd luckily managed to avoid it. And the moment I realised it was time to play, I got fucked over. And it was on, of all things, a Bottom Instagram page about Bottom. The fella they're called the Hammersmith Hardmen. They're brilliant. You should
the TV show Bottom.
Yeah, the TV show Bottom.
Oh, not gay slang.
Not just
classic.
No, it wasn't like on a but yeah, the Hammersmith Hardmen, they interspersed a bit of footage of Eddie and Richie from Holy, the Bottom episode, which is brilliant. And they put
Gold, Frankenstein, and Grrr. Eddie, crackers. Yep, but it's never stopped me so far.
Chocolate rum for Christmas.
Oh my god!
Oh, lovely! Look at that, Tobago Gold. Oh, bloody hell! Awesome.
Naughty, to be fair, that looks really naughty. I did make a Dignitas, what I called a Dignitas drink the other night out of the thing I'd left in the cupboard, and some of it was surprisingly rum, a bit of lime juice, apple juice, and sparkling water makes quite a nice cocktail, even though it's just rum and apple juice. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Could you imagine going through a cocktail menu and one of them's called the Dignitas Special?
I'd order it at this point.
And it's like
a great name.
Everything. It's like the Whiffnell and I drinking game.
Hit me with it.
If I was owner a pub, I would put that on the menu tomorrow.
You can't because I've trademarked it now.
Dignitass special, please. It's a lot. And it could be, the catchphrase could be, it's a lot cheaper than a flight to Switzerland.
Or you can go for the Indignitas, which is like just everything from the drip tray. And you have to
Tan, you are a marketing genius. We need to get Tan, like head of Saatchi and Saatchi.
We should call it the Dignitans, really, and that's the name of the cocktail.
I prefer to go down the Indignitan route.
Anything we got
I'm
left.
I'm nicking that from Thick of It because it's the line, isn't it? It's like Indignitas, a clown kicking you out of a window. Which I think is going to happen to the student that pretended to be Putin. In that AI thing, I think he's going to get Indignitas out of a window.
Tell me what happened with this student who pretended to be Putin. I'm dying here.
There's this rumor going around that, or there's this thing, because obviously, like Putin, I wonder who's going to win that election. He's running for election again. Like he's going to either murder or jail all of his opponents. But there's people claiming that he's got people that are standing in for him. Because he's in such ill health, that he's got all these people that pretend to be him. So a student, when he was doing like these live questions, came on the screen as an AI version of Putin and started asking him a question. And Putin,
is this a Russian student?
It was a student, I think in Russia, was AI Putin asking Putin a question, talking about like the impersonation. And for a few moments, Putin didn't even know what to say. He was like visibly flustered. And my reply in the comment section was like, obviously that guy should stay away from Windows for a couple of weeks. Because he's going to get like done in. No one knows when the bounty is. So, yeah.
If anybody offers him a cup of tea, refuse.
Don't drink or eat anything ever again.
Yes.
But he was visibly flustered by it and he didn't really know what to say. And it's the first time I've ever seen him look that visibly flustered. So someone's going to die, Putin's not going to
stay away from the windows.
Yeah, he's going to, just stay in a basement for the rest of your life. But even then,
This has gone down far too well.
Have we got any more questions in the chat? Because we're supposed to be doing mystery hour, so if anyone wants to ask some more questions, we had someone asking why are the 3 legs of the Isle of Man? Why is the symbol 3 legs? This is something that I think that Bowler Hat Man might know, and also it's the symbol of Sicily. That's 3 legs as well. Any idea, Ollie?
What was the question? Sorry, I was
why someone asked in the chat why the symbol of the Isle of Man has 3 legs.
Oh, it's to do with the 3 spokes of touching 3 lands. I think it is something like that.
The 3 spokes of what?
Yeah, it's the 3 spokes of touching 3 lands. The UK, Ireland, and Scotland.
Lands! I thought you said lambs. I was like, why are they touching lambs?
At least I think it is. I'm not 100% sure on that. I might have just made
that
up.
Isn't it? It's called the Triskeliat or something. The Triskeliat or something.
Oh,
I might have that wrong, but I'm sure it's got a name. It's got an actual name.
You guys know a lot of shit. Well done.
That might not be quite correct, but it's called the Triskeli something.
Doesn't it have a motto, and in Latin in English it means anywhere you throw it, it stands. Did I just dream that?
You could just be making it up, and
I could just be making it up.
I'd just be like, yeah.
I usually say at this point, someone in the chat Google it, but we're not allowed to Google tonight.
Oh, I mean, all bets off. And what the fuck's happened to Wayne?
I don't know. He's disappeared. I keep trying to call him. I don't know.
You can't get through to him. Is he
no? I hope so. He was all right a bit ago. He was like, "Yeah, gotta be calling in." So yeah, he'll turn up when he turns up, I guess. David Downey wants to know what's our favourite Tory lie, which isn't really a mystery hour question. It's more like
no. This is
we can answer that.
A good question.
Yeah, should we? Who wants to go first? You're gonna think about your answers here.
About this.
Okay, all right, Josh, straight in there, hands up.
I have a sensible one. That low taxes and small government is good for society. There you go. Moving on to something less sensible.
I've got a good one that Aid and I were talking about on his podcast a little while ago. One of the funniest Tory lies was that old Mr. Warburton thought that you could actually put cocaine on a baking tray and still have it work. Which is what you put it on a fucking baking tray. A baking tray. So yeah, that would be mine. Is that is a good way to take drugs.
Did anyone see the picture of Farage with his long fingernail?
Oh, I did. It was weird.
He had one long fingernail, for like doing.
Oh, that was grim.
It was very grim.
That was grim.
All right, Darren, you were about to say your favourite Tory lie. What's yours?
That we never lie.
Have they actually said that?
Well, I'm sure somebody asked Spaffer Johnson, what's your favourite lie you've ever told? Is that I never lie. And somebody replied,
that is his favourite lie. Well. Yeah, very, very good. I like that. Bowler hat man, Ollie, have you got one?
Oh, very, very topical at the moment. That I deleted my WhatsApp messages and I can't get them back.
I should have gone with that one. Yeah, I was just thinking my head.
Whoopsies!
Yeah. Whoopsies!
That always happens. It's so funny that WhatsApp. Have you seen the Supercut where someone's just put like all of his I don't knows together into like what?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't recall. This is Rishi Sunak this week talking at the COVID inquiry, and there was so many things he couldn't remember.
It's gone.
I mean, he must have been absolutely fucking off his trolley, drunk all that year.
Well, Bethel, it was originally started with Bethel, didn't it? He went with the whole Wagatha Christie. Oh, I accidentally lost it on purpose in a lake in Scotland or something.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be used in the Wagatha Christie trial as an excuse. And then it also came back to the government. So it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, that is, I would say. Also, another one is I didn't go to the party.
Yes, there were no parties.
There were no parties. I'd say
all the rules were followed.
Angriest, I'd say.
And then they had a woman come and talk at the COVID inquiry, and she's like, none of the rules were ever followed. Like, and this is after Boris Johnson saying all the rules were followed in number 10 at all times. It's like there wasn't a single day when everyone followed the rules.
Another
John,
one
did John throw one in there, or did I miss it?
Well, my favourite Tory lie has got to be Liz Truss, because she ain't a Tory. She's a Lib Dem, really. She's the best sleeper agent ever. Ever.
It
Get
is
in there, work your way up, make yourself leader, become prime minister, and just fuck the whole operation up. I mean, that was just, and then get out.
Well, you fucked it up for us.
Bloody brilliant.
You fucked it up for the hedge funders or the bankers or the people that swept in and made loads of money out of her mess up. It was encouraged partying.
I'm going to make that into a conspiracy theory now.
And everything. Once the parties had happened, which had been the kneecapping, she comes along and just breaks everything. That's it, done. And that was so to me. I don't know. Agent Truss. Hashtag Agent Truss. She is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but she got known for obviously when she was very young for the anti-monarchy speech. Become prime minister, Queen croaks after 2 days. I mean, come on! I mean, like the evidence is there. Surely,
it's all connecting. It's all connecting into my lines.
Of death.
Get out the red thread.
Ed Davies giving it like, going, well done, Liz. Well done. Best one yet. Christmas bonus for you.
Ed Davies a weird man. I don't trust Ed Davey. I think his dad jokes make my minge cringe. He's a weird fella. He always comes out with these like, oh, this is such a funny joke. I'm gonna do like a visual metaphor. It's like, fuck off, you dickhead. I can't stand him. I no offense to Lib Dems because I know we're gonna need him, but fuck, he's hard to swallow. Ed Davey, I tell you, he's
still better than Swinson was. Though you got to admit. I mean, he was
awful.
God Almighty!
I'm going to be Prime Minister. No, you're not, Joe. No, you're not.
No, you're not, Joe.
You're seriously not.
We've
got a couple of questions here. There's someone asking about the origins of the Mercedes logo. Any petrol heads here know the origins of the Mercedes logo?
Don't drive, mate. No.
Okay. Mojo Sabian, if you want to tell us the origin. Oh, go on. John knows it. Go on, John.
Yeah, basically, it's the Triskalia from the Isle of Man. So the legs and feet came off one evening in Germany, and this German was around. Thought, that's not a bad idea.
That's good.
I'll have that.
Anyway, you throw it.
Like three lambs joining together. Yeah, 3 lambs.
No, they just had very sharp legs.
It's a rotor. It's a rotor because they used to make planes. It's the rotor off a plane.
Oh, for God's sake, Graham, must you live relentlessly in the real world?
Yes. I'm sorry. Okay, this is one for Ollie, probably. What's the capital of Switzerland?
Your mum.
Your ma.
Not your, I love your mum, not your mum.
Not my mum, someone else's mum. Anyone know the capital of Switzerland?
Bern.
Yes, John got it. John's so on our quiz team, isn't he?
Yeah,
And David Farrow. David Farrow wants to know, if you go around the world so fast you cross the date line twice in 24 hours, why do you not go back in time?
Because you can't go back in time.
There you go. Tan gets the Ray Liotta because you just can't go back in time. So I was in American. I was in Samoa, and American Samoa, a week after Samoa, independent Samoa, jumped across the date line. It decided that it didn't want to be on the American side of the date line. At the end of the day, it wanted to be on the Australian, New Zealand side of the date line. So it was at the beginning of the day, and there's only a few miles between the island groups, but the American side stayed on the American side. So basically, I went there and I had 2 Sundays. So I was there and we had the Sunday, and then overnight we went to the other island and we went over the date line, and then we had Sunday again, and then I didn't have a Tuesday.
What?
Because I went over the date line. So if you ever want to have the same day twice, like if it's your birthday or an anniversary or something that you want, to happen again, you can go to Samoa, have a night out, have a big night out, drinking, partying, everything, and then take an overnight ferry to American Samoa and then have the same day again.
What?
Yep. Wake up in the morning.
That just proves that time's a nonsense concept that people just
It's just the way it works. You've got to put the line somewhere. Makes more sense.
So just out of interest, if you decided to go to that place on your birthday and then you go to, is it American Samoa? Whatever you say?
American Samoa, yeah.
Yeah. And have the day your birthday again, does that mean you've aged by 2 years?
Yes. It's a bit like someone who's born on the 29th of February who's 36 is only actually 6. No, I can't add up. 8.
I'd rather that, to be fair. I'd rather age back,
8.5.
given the choice.
9. Greg goes Back to the Future. I see there's any more questions coming in. Someone's asking about the pronunciation of Ray Liotta. Well, he pronounced it everyone says Ray Liotta, but he pronounced it Ray Liotta.
I've always said Liotta.
Yeah. And no one noticed that he pronounced it that way. It must have been so annoying for him.
I've got a question.
Go on.
Why is Boris Johnson
such a cunt?
That would be an ecumenical question.
Because Stanley Johnson missed.
Because his mum didn't have a wank. Yeah, if only. Yeah, I don't know. Why is he?
Because his dad Stanley Johnson is an absolute monster, and
Oh, that was a one-off.
The shit doesn't fall far from the arse.
Fiona, Bru, it was a one-off.
No, that was a one-off. To be fair, though,
Are you asking?
Didn't chip in at last week's question time and go fucking up the country by the Conservatives was a one-off.
Yeah. Well, the guy who shot John Lennon, that was a one-off. Did he really commit a crime? If you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, people committed worse crimes. They killed 2 people. Not 2 Beatles, but 2 people.
Yeah. In fairness, great. Yeah. Now you put it like that.
Shortcut for thinking that.
Okay. Next one for all of you is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes. I've actually got Hans Gruber falling from the plaza on my tree. I've got a ornament of it.
Perfect.
Would you like to see it?
Now I have a machine gun. Yes, I would.
Okay, let me just
show me hands.
I'll go and get it.
So the fundamental.
This is super Tans showing super hands. Hans Gruber.
Amazing.
It's not Christmas until he falls from the
Brilliant. Nakatomi building. Excellent. Hi, Mike. Hi, Evie. My stepdaughter's watching this, so no more swearing.
What?
Everyone in the chat is just saying yes in capital letters, yes with 3 exclamation marks, yes capital letters and an exclamation mark. God, yes. Die Hard is very much an Xmas movie.
Yes, so yes, it is. It absolutely is.
It absolutely is. Okay, good. I'm glad we sorted that out.
It's a tradition. I have very kind of bitter feelings about Christmas, but the one thing I'll stand by is having a bit of cheesecake and watching Die Hard every year.
Can I ask my
Christmas
question?
Carol.
Can I ask my question that I've phoned up Mystery Hour with 3 times and they never put me through?
Go on.
Okay. Say you are crashed on a plane, right? And you end up in the Andes and you're with a group of people and you realize at some point you're going to have to, like, eat each other or eat the dead. Let's not say murder. Just, you got to eat the dead people, right? Would the vegetarians and the vegans taste different from the meat eaters, and would you be able to tell? Because they have like chicken that you feed with corn and it comes out yellow for some reason.
I can see why this doesn't get on radio.
I can see why this doesn't get on the show. That's a very weird question. I don't think there would be much difference. Although there used to be a horrible thing that people would say about ginger folk.
What?
That horrible thing where people would spread that horrible rumor that ginger people smell different when you cut them open.
What? I've never heard this rumor in my life.
I've never heard that before.
Australian man. This horrible Australian man that was a friend of my ex's dad. He was like a surgeon guy, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like when you cut open a ginger person, they smell different on the inside." And I was like, "Are you joking me?"
They're pulling your leg.
No, but he said it with like a kind of weird earnest that made me think he was telling the truth. Like he was either really good at bluffing,
he's an RT,
or he believed it. Mind you,
most about the drop bears
were arseholes. So he was sods. So I don't think that maybe he was talking out of his bottom. I think he definitely was. So no, I don't think based on that there is any. No, I don't think there would.
Well, we got Sarah in the chat says they couldn't eat a Tory because they're too bitter. Which is fair enough.
Not, no,
going by the farts, yes, they will taste different, says Paul.
That's just intestinal passages. Like protein is protein. Body like matter will taste like matter.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Surely the people who ate meat would have more fat, and fat is the bit that gives things flavour.
Animals, right? Okay, so which animals do we eat that eat other animals?
What bits do we eat of animals?
No, which animals do we eat that are carnivores?
Shark.
Because that's surely a way to judge it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good way of judging it. Are sharks carnivores? Not really. They're pescatarians.
Who eats shark?
Hanging out in
just munching on a shark. They eat
Amity
us.
Beach.
Get shark. I've had a shark steak.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't. Shark doesn't taste anything. It's really weird.
Why eat it, man?
I've eaten crocodile.
What it tasted like.
I've eaten shark. I've eaten crocodile, and that tastes like fish. It's got a consistency of fish.
I've had raw
chicken.
Imagine
it tasting like a tuna steak.
Yeah, a bit like that. Yeah. Blue Badger says, when I was in Tonga, they told me they built a boat for the Millennium, sailed it over the date line for the first dawn, then it was overcast, lol, drunk millionaires and a boat, no surprise.
Well, at least it wasn't as bad as building an entire flipping dome.
Yeah.
So
big upside down walk. And the Queen lighting the British gas lantern at midnight. It had the British gas logo on it. It was just so shit.
I was a young teenager at the Millennium, and I spent that night getting absolutely off my face on my friend's parents owned a pub in my village. So I got the most drunk I think I've ever got as a young person, and I was very young. Really, I was about 13.
So
14.
you came to the new Millennium with your head down the toilet.
No, I held my liquor very well. I sang karaoke.
Oh, excellent, good stuff.
Yeah, I sang. Well, I think it was Natalie and Julia, actually.
Oh, I saw her the other week at Durham Cathedral. She was very good.
I love her.
So do I.
Beautiful pixie lady from outer space.
She had really cool boots on. Anyway, so yeah, I was at the pyramids in Egypt for the Millennium at a Jean-Michel Jarre gig. If you can believe that, you know the penguin guy.
Jean-Michel Jarre was a fraud. It just reminds me of Bill Bailey whenever I hear that.
Yeah, when the dome opened and apart from the acrobats at the start, it was shit. Do you know what you can compare that with? You compare the shit that was the Millennium Dome at the Millennium with the opening ceremony of the Olympics, which was fucking amazing.
Was that 2012?
Yeah.
That was
12 years to get ready for it.
Everything went wrong. There's a lot of people out there that subscribe to that whole Mandela or Mandela effect thing, where they think that like everything just went to shit around 2012 for some reason. Like there was I think they subscribe it to the Higgs boson or something. Like they think that they
not the Mayan calendar.
They messed up something that couldn't be reversed. And the more I think about it, the more I think, well, there is a bit of truth.
There's two flashpoints I like to think that happened. Either A, it was Ed Miliband being unable to eat a bacon sandwich so incompetently that this is what changed
the fabric of time.
Yeah.
Place. Yeah. Yeah.
Or it was when we shot the gorilla.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, we shot the gorilla. What's his name now? Harambe.
Harambe.
Escaped from the zoo, and they shot it. And
poor bugger.
Heartbreaking.
That's when
I think it was when Bowie died. It all went off the rails.
Bowie died in 2015, though, didn't he?
No, it was January 2016.
2016 January.
Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah, it was one of the 2016 to go.
I got a really good story about. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not a good story about Bowie dying. Sorry, but I was staying in Barnes that very night.
Barnes is a lovely place.
Barnes in London. Well, I was staying in Barnes, and I was right near the Mark Bolan tree. I was actually staying, and it was that morning that I'd found out on the phone that he'd died, and I was dating someone from Colchester at the time, who used to be in a band, and we were staying there. Anyway, we got up in the morning, and my phone was buzzing. It's going, Bowie's died. Bowie's died. I thought, bloody hell! And and the last person to perform with Mark Bolan was David Bowie. Literally about 3 days before Bolan crashed and died, the last person ever to perform with him was David Bowie.
He killed Bowie.
No, we didn't kill Bowie.
I hope not.
Bowie might have killed him.
Weird. So we walked over to the Mark Bolan tree. Literally, you could almost throw a stone to the Mark Bolan shrine that morning. And we went over, and there were literally about 40, 50 Bowie fans that had all made the same connection, going,
wow,
like, whoa. But Bowie was the last person to perform with Mark Bolan, and we happened to be nearby when he dies. And we're like, oh, yeah, me too. Oh, and me. I was like, it was honestly, it was just the weirdest thing when Bowie died. And when we found, I don't know if you've seen it, there's a Twitter account that puts out codes. I'm going off on a tangent here, but if anyone in the chat or anyone's heard of the Buzzer, the Russian radio station that's buzzed every few seconds for the last 50 years or something, and people don't know where it is, where it comes from. There's a Twitter account called the Buzzer, which apparently is based in Russia somewhere, and it got the codes worked out, and they were all very Bowie-esque. Like it would say just Black Star, or just really, seriously, it's I'll find it.
Cool.
It's
Bowie communicating to us from space.
Bowie didn't die though. Bowie just went back to space.
I just want a big shout out to David Downey for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much, mate. And we've got a question in the chat from my brother. Why does human head and face hair keep on growing when no other body hair does, and you never see an ape with shoulder length hair? I don't know if me and Ollie can answer this one because we're our hair didn't keep growing, did it?
No, did mine.
Apes are very fashion conscious, and they don't subscribe to patriarchal beauty norms. So they've decided that they're not gonna. Yeah, they love Sinead O'Connor, so they've decided that fuck that shit. They're not going to grow out their hair because fuck the system. That's.
It is a bit of a weird one though, isn't it? Because you grow your beard, it just keeps growing, doesn't it?
I have no idea. I can only grow a very light tash at best, so I don't.
Well, I was going to say my hair, but I haven't got much hair left, so I'll just go for my beard instead.
Is it something to do with testosterone or something? Or
no, because women's hair keeps growing, doesn't it?
Yeah, true.
Oh my God, I just had a Twitter alert that said that Matthew Perry's cause of death was an accident caused by the acute effects of ketamine.
Oh, shit.
So he was on the ket.
That's not fun, is it?
Poor bugger.
Oh,
It's terrible.
that was one of the celebrity deaths that really, really upset me. I was just not.
Yeah, me too. Because I think
he'd
grew up with him.
struggled so much with addiction all his life.
He'd helped a lot of people too. He'd set up treatment centres. He had one on one helped people with addiction, whilst also himself battling it like a bugger throughout.
Yeah.
So nothing but respect for him. But ketamine, that's a weird one. I'm trying to figure out whether or not he might have.
It's horse tranquilizer, isn't it? Special K.
K is, yeah, but I'm just wondering. Some people microdose it. But if it was an overdose, he probably wouldn't have been microdosing it, because microdoses of ketamine have been found to be very useful in terms of helping things like PTSD and all sorts of stuff like that. What was John doing?
I don't know.
Just got distracted by John. I thought you were sticking something up your face.
He's trying to show us something, but it keeps disappearing because he's got his magic camera on.
Darkness. What is it?
He's trying to show us something. It's mini cheddars.
cheddars.
He's got mini cheddars.
Yeah, because some people microdose.
Who needs ketamine when you've got mini cheddars?
When you got mini cheddars, that's what I always say.
Regressamine. I've never seen anyone have a good time on ketamine. I once accidentally took ketamine accidentally. And it was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And it happened in Brighton. It was horrible. Horrible incident. Yeah.
We've also we had someone in the chat talking about the humans, well, they would taste different. Christine saying non-ruminants are allowed to be fed animal protein products. So pigs and chickens can be fed bone meal and hydrolyzed feathers and hydrolyzed hair, blood meal, etc.
My God,
that's pretty
because
grim.
I know cats cannot live without meat. They have to have meat in their diet, otherwise they will die. But I've never obviously eaten a cat, because I never would. Which is why I'm gradually phasing out all meat, because I think if I can't eat a cat, I shouldn't eat any meat, really.
Yeah, but cat probably wouldn't taste very nice either.
No, they wouldn't. I mean,
that's the thing.
I don't think they would.
Take it as someone who's eaten some weird stuff in my life. I really don't think cat would taste.
That is nice. A horrible thing that you've just, because oh my God, because horses don't eat meat, do they? They eat just
no, they're not supposed to. But chickens will eat meat. Chickens will eat anything. So on my island, I had 12 chickens, and we used to have these little mud crabs on the island. Well, they still do. And they run out of the mud, and they would eat the mud crabs whole. They just have that. Oh, mud crab. I'll have that. They just go around the whole island pecking them. But we had someone else pointing out about hair, Jeff True, and this must be true because it's from Jeff True. He says all hair is genetically programmed to be a certain length. Hair on head has a limit. So it must get to a certain point and then stop.
And men lose their hair early if they have a surge in testosterone early on. That's the cause of hair loss in men. So
I've just got too much testosterone.
If you were,
that's my excuse, and
if you had a surge of testosterone, rather than it being evenly distributed at a younger age, that will cause you to lose your hair earlier. And also there's a genetic element too. So some people, I went out with a guy whose mum had a full head of hair, and my ex had a full head of hair. His dad lost his hair. His other brother lost his hair. It was just a lottery of whoever got the
genetics.
Hair. Yeah.
The genetics is a lottery. So a quick question from Colin. How much has been spent on the Rwanda project? So far, 290 million. And by the end of it, 700 million to send absolutely nobody to Rwanda. Next one. If you could go back in time, and we can't because Tan said so, but if we could, who would you have dinner and a convo with? Don't want to jump in on the first one to
who wants to go first?
Spring to mind.
I know who I would, but there's a number of people that I would, and
go on. You tell us what we're thinking.
I have to choose.
I'm going to drink while I think.
Okay. Well, no, the immediate two that spring to mind for me would be Edith Piaf and Freddie Mercury. They're the two people that I would want to. Oh, hello.
Hello. Congratulations! Yay! You said the magic words that released the balloons.
Freddie Mercury, Edith Piaf. Because Edith Piaf was a riot, and so was Freddie Mercury, and he loved cats, and he was a musical genius and a lovely man by all accounts. So I would love to have dinner and drinks, lots of drinks with them too, because I think they'd be so much fun. And they definitely know how to have a party, and you'd be able to get around the piano with them and do a bunch of dancing and singing. So that'd
be a good night out.
Bloody would, definitely.
So, John, have you got anyone that you'd like to?
I would. Oh goodness me! I would go for Bon Scott, formerly of AC/DC.
Akadaka.
And the
Darren's giving the thumbs up for that.
Bon Scott, I think it'd be an amazing to have at a dinner table with
his bagpipes as well.
Oh yeah, but to hear his stories. I mean, some of the stories I've read about that guy, good God on earth, just amazing. Was it 2 guests, wasn't it?
I chose 2 because I'm greedy. I can never choose one.
Did you? Oh right. Oh, it's only supposed to be. Well, I'll go for Bon Scott.
Okay.
And for a bonus, I think. I don't know. Actually, I think it'd have to be. It'd have to be Rick Mail because I was
my God!
really lucky.
Yes.
You met Rick Mail though. You actually worked with him.
I worked with him. Yeah.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Lucky bastard.
And I've had tea in a castle with Rick Mail when he's dressed as a medieval king. Beat that. You never will. You'll never beat that. It's crazy.
I'm adding Rick Mail to mine. Yeah, Rick, Freddie, Edith, but flipping hell, you're 2, John.
Yeah. Josh, who would you like to dig up and have a meal with? Their rotting corpse.
I don't know. I mean, I was thinking someone a bit more recent, maybe, but that's relative, isn't it? I was maybe thinking like David Graeber or something like that, maybe. Exactly. But a lot of people don't know who that is. David Graeber, he wrote Bullshit Jobs, if you've come across that. Very interesting book about how we are kept busy doing nonsense for the man. And how
this is so true. Everyone's winging it and no one's really bothering to do anything yet.
But also most of the things we're kept doing are completely pointless.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so Bullshit Job,
what's it called? I need to look him up because I want to buy this book. What's his name? David
Graeber. You can find him on YouTube giving all sorts of talks about it, but he died a few years ago. Yeah.
Graeber.
Aeber, maybe. Yeah. You'll find it.
Ollie, who would you?
Royal Society talk he did, I think.
Did what? Sorry.
I think he did a talk at the RSA, possibly.
American anthropologist and anarchist activist. Yes, mate. He sounds awesome.
Ollie, who would you have? Who would you?
You know what? I'm gonna go old school, and I'm gonna go for Rabbie Burns.
Oh, bloody hell.
There was a man, if you want on a night out, would have been like the best wingman ever.
He'd probably die though. He'd probably take it a bit too far.
That's true. Yeah. The stories about like his nights that he spent in the parties are like quite extensively labeled, and it's like, okay, yeah, that might be probably highly illegal now, but would probably be quite fun at the time.
Anything that's fun is often illegal, though. rioting, etc.
Darren, who would you like to? Bon Scott. We've got Lemmy and Hunter S. Thompson. We've got Sean Locke, Eric Morecambe.
Probably
another Lemmy.
I've got a couple. It'd have to be a choice between Steve Clark, former guitarist of Def Leppard. He'll have been a riot on a night out.
Steve Steaming, that's a good shout.
Yeah. What do you call him? Also, the guy who wrote one of my favourite book of all time, the first book that ever made me cry, was Robert Tressel. I would love to have
ragged-trousered
philanthropist. Yes.
He's buried in Liverpool,
Yeah. Also, and probably Johnny Cash, because I think he would be interesting as well to have a natter with as well.
You got him behind you.
Yes.
I think I would, if it was just a meal, I'd want Nigel Farage.
poison
back
him.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just poison him.
Give him
Simple as
some
that.
Does that mean
sharp.
you've got to kill him first though? Because you said dead people.
Yeah,
so...
yeah. But
Oh,
could
I
you
see
eat,
where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
could you eat a whole farage?
Yeah. No, God, no. Ugh. That nail, that freaky fucking nail. No,
I'm carved the meat.
but like night out, legendary night outs. I don't know, Valentino. You got someone from the 1920s, like who was the guy who played Robin Hood? Who had a big schlong? What was his name? Famous 1920s actor.
What Errol Flynn?
Errol Flynn. I want to go out with Errol Flynn. Come on, it's the 20s. It'd be absolute, not these 20s, which are shit and boring. The 20s.
Yeah, the man with a family budgie down his tight.
Oh yeah.
That's not a bad.
Come on, there's a wingman.
Can I actually get in on Graham's? I was going to ask actually if anyone could go back and experience a summer in a particular era, like a year or like a decade, like say the 60s, 50s, whatever. What decade would you go back to? For me, it'd probably be experiencing the 90s as an adult rather than like a kind of someone coming of age as like a really young tween or a teenager, because I think it was just one of the best eras really. But in the 90s I wanted to go back to the 60s. It's weird, because I was obsessed with the Beatles and all kind of like young stuff like that. But yeah, what era would you go back to? Would it be like the
70s
era, or would it be like the, you know?
For me, 70s.
I think it would depend, Tan. Do you have money?
Oh, you have everything at your fingertips.
Oh, for 20s, 1920s.
The 1920s was naughty. Like, to be fair, like, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, hedonism.
Because it's like for me, when it came to the 70s, I was only a little wee scrot. I was only a couple of years old, and there was all this, all that fantastic music, like from the Eagles and
Bowie,
Sex
AC/DC,
Pistols,
and all that, and
T-Rex,
T-Rex, and
ABBA.
It went straight over my head. I would love to.
Ramones, New York Dolls.
Yeah,
New York Dolls. God,
Yes.
where would you be? Because like I was watching a documentary just the other night about Fran Lebowitz, who's amazing. Oh, hello, pussycat. What a beautiful cat. Oh, what's the name of the little kitty? What's her name? Hers?
It's him. He's called Chase.
Chase. Oh,
he's called Chase. Yeah, forget it. He's gone. No, he's not. He didn't want to be on camera.
But it's just trying to think about the era. Fran Lebowitz was talking about like did 21st century schizoid man. I can't remember their name. You'll know this. Down. Oh, come on. 21st century schizoid man. Who did that? I'm surprised you guys don't know this.
Bad Religion.
No.
Was this a 90s track?
No. It's like the 60s. King Crimson.
Pardon?
King Crimson.
King Crimson. Oh, which had that really mad record label in the court. Was it in the court of King Crimson? Was the?
They did 21st century schizoid man. It's fucking awesome. It's like a proper, like one of the first ever
King Crimson. David Downey just said it in the chat.
You know, like proper doomy, like heavy stuff. Like, you know, obviously like Lennon released She's So Heavy, which was proper doomy as well. A little, you know, on Abbey. I think that was before King Crimson.
Nick and Diff, getting back to politics. Mid-90s, Britpop, incoming Labour government, liberation, best chance at a career and a house purchase. I squandered most of it. Never thought we would go backwards for a second. Yeah, we have gone backwards. I didn't think we'd go backwards either.
We all did that.
Just thought the good times will keep on coming.
Have you seen the latest episodes of The Crown, you guys?
No spoilers. I hear a major character was killed off at the beginning of the series.
Diana.
They do this thing about.
No, did she just? Oh man! Way to ruin a TV show, Josh.
But
what are you talking about?
But what?
What did Josh say?
He said that Diana dies in The Crown. He
Diana's
just pulled up
dead?
the house.
I'm
Yeah.
shocked.
Apparently,
I
yeah,
never
the
knew that.
SAS
She's my
did
favourite
the-
character.
Graham always tells us about how the SAS did her in a tunnel because there was loads of CCTV. He stands by it. He's like, yeah, they obviously did it to her in a tunnel. And we're like, Graham, stop spreading this conspiracy, please. And he's like, no, it's true. It happened because that's exactly how they would kill a princess in the
I
tunnel.
think we're most likely to get the true story from, and The Crown itself, which is this, epic of a fact-based documentary of the entire.
Absolutely, every
Well,
single
I went to see Napoleon this week with Ben Chambers of 16 Million Rising fame, and all the way through we were just quoting the director Ridley Scott. When anything ridiculous happened, I'd say, "Were you there?"
Yeah.
No. Well, shut the fuck up then. Which is just the greatest line.
Wasn't even sure, and they made it up to kind of emasculate him. That's what I've heard about him. Apparently, he was average height, but they just
they're saying he's emasculated because he turns into he gets infantile. Infantile? No, he gets really childish around Josephine because he's so obsessed with her, which is probably true because you look at his letters and he was really dippy mad in love with her.
Oh, we've all been.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny. It's funny. It's a funny film, but these historians are going, "Oh, this isn't quite accurate. This battle scene because the Prussians came in from the left, and in reality they came in from the right." And you're like, "Who gives a shit?" Like,
just have interest in this Napoleon film. Is there a little bit of a bit in there where he bumps into a group of time traveling midgets who were in Time Bandits?
Yes, and then he runs into Bill and Ted, and he goes on the Super Happy Fun slide, and he has a great time.
If you've never watched Time Bandits, you've got to watch it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Amazing tandem.
And he declares the best time to be is now, and the best place to be is here.
I love the way that we're
And
just
party on, dudes.
and weaving into fact and fiction.
Were you there, Tan? Were you there?
Yes.
No.
Were you there?
Put that in your history A levels, right? Just write, were you there? No, shut the fuck up there.
Josh.
To head off. So
no, Josh is leaving us.
Oh, Josh.
Bye, Josh.
No.
See you next time. Thanks for having me.
See ya. Bye
Love
bye.
you, Josh. Bye.
That's because we got to the 10 o'clock
mark. The thing I was going to say about The Crown is that there's a bit in it, which isn't a spoiler, but there's a really weird sequence at the beginning of one of the new episodes where the Queen is having a bad dream. And the bad dream is that Blair's new Labour is taking over Britain and he's trying to be crowned as the new king. And there's a choir boy singing a choir version of Things Can Only Get Better. And there's King Tony and Queen Cherie walking down the middle of this aisle. And there's all people dressed like the Spice Girls, all in colourful clothing and everything. And I have to say, I was weirdly into it. I was like, yeah, this is work that I was into this. I thought this was pretty cool, actually. But the Queen was apparently a bit pissed off with the popularity of New Labour because his approval ratings at the beginning were massive and they were just huge, weren't they?
Did the Queen have approval rating envy?
No, she
did.
Yeah,
but you've got to bear in mind that sorry to cut in, but you've got to bear in mind that at the time, anyone's approval rating that was taking the Tories out would have just rocketed sky high. I think the relief at the time was so palpable. It was just fucking hell. Thank God for that. Thank you, you Messiah, and you happen to be Tony Blair that happens to be leading the party. But thank you. It was just off the
I
scope.
remember the feeling of because obviously my family personally massively, I've gone on about it before, it massively benefited from Brown and Blair's changes and help, and but yeah, there was definitely that feeling of the monarchy, I think, trying to contend with a government that was super popular, really popular. And I think that's the difference in between, because a lot of people try to compare the current incarnation of Labour with that era, and it's just on no level comparable.
You can't.
No level, apart from the fact that everyone's just sick of the Tories now. But people have to also remember, around the time of Blair coming to power and Brown, who was instrumental. Like, you can't miss out Brown's achievements. There were loads of people also then resisting in Labour. There were factions that were resisting it, saying, oh, they're Tories, they're not left enough, you know, because they had to create a situation of fundamental change in Labour in order to get them into a position of being electable. Because as you were talking about the other day, Mr. Bowler Hat Man, with your conversation with that bell end, you have to come.
Well, I'm annoyed by that. I'm actually quite annoyed by that because I went in there and it was just going to be a casual chat. That's all I was expecting. But no, apparently she's selling this as this was an actual debate. That I went in her to debate her.
You came across in a very moderate way, and as you were saying, the problem.
I'm really pissed off at that because that's quite.
Can we just explain to the people in the chat what we're talking about? So this week, Bowler Hat Man had on
No Justice,
who is a person who was spreading kind of quite bizarre conspiracy theories about Stop the Tory Stop Vote just before the local election, in which we helped contribute to over 1,000 Conservative council losses. Actually, we can't quantify exactly
them,
but we can. But we can say that definitely we had over 500,000 hits on our website prior to that. Anyway, this person was spreading kind of quite wild conspiracy. And your point that you made, which was quite astute, is that the problem that the left have is generally, I think, trying to preach the converted and thinking that you don't have to bring over some of that more centrist people. Like, even though most of us, I don't think, would ever call ourselves a centrist, you have to appeal to people outside the margins of your own limited fucking mindscape.
I don't think that putting people's heads on spikes as a warning to the next generation of Tories is very centralist myself. I'm just you know,
absolutely
just saying.
not. And,
hashtag just saying. And also hashtag only joking.
Hashtag.
Or am I?
But no,
I am I5.
I have to admit, I can only stomach so much of that person trying to use kind of like flowery, grandiloquent kind of like language as a way to kind of like appear to be kind of more intelligent and win a debate. And I found a lot.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't go in there expecting a debate. That's why I find it really sort of.
This is the thing.
I found it quite deceptive because I did not go in there expecting a debate. And what's
happened since? Tell us a little bit about what's happened since with that, because the way that you're describing it makes me think that they've kind of framed it as something different afterwards. Is that what's happened?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I feel it's been she's framed it entirely differently.
Oh, really? What did she say?
She's framed it when she's put out all we had an almost 2-hour conversation, which you can find on my channel, the full 2-hour unedited conversation.
I could only stomach so much of her.
But no, she's put it down to an hour and she's called it a debate, and that we had a debate. And in no way did I go into that conversation. She did not ask to have a debate. I asked, do you want hey, people have come to my channel, do you want to have a chat? Sure. Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
I feel that if you want a debate, you should actually ask for a debate. Because
did you know what she'd been up to before? Did you know? Oh, you should have asked us, man. You should.
I knew nothing about it.
You should have asked us, because we've had she's tried to debunk a bunch of us before, and it's like, mate, you're debunking yourself. There's nothing to debunk. Like the whole who funds you element of Stop the Tory Stop Vote, like fucking crowdfunders, mate. We're not like Brexiteers taking money from Russia. We're literally like volunteer led. None of us are making money out of it. So she's come across as a really kind of combative, suspicious, almost conspiratorial presence, really. And we could have told you that she'd try and spin this in this way if you'd told us before. We'd have been like, whoa.
She's not getting a lot of love in the chat.
I mean,
I don't know if you can read what people are saying, but what's her background, Ollie? What's her background? Is she?
Well, like I say, I don't know.
Okay.
She's
a YouTuber,
never heard of her before this.
No, I'd never heard of her, but obviously
someone in the chat, a couple of people in my comments have said, "Oh, you should speak to this person. You speak to this person." So I thought, oh well, tell her to follow me on Twitter or whatever, and we'll sort out. We'll have a chat. We'll have a conversation. And yeah, we had she added me on Twitter. I followed her back. reached out, messaged her, do you want to have, oh, I've been told, we should talk. She said, yeah, let's have a chat. And now it's been cast as this was a debate between us both. And I feel like if I'd known this was a debate, I would have gone in entirely different. I would have handled the entire conversation very differently. I would have done some preparation.
Discussion. Yeah, just an informal
discussion. It was, to me, it was just an informal discussion. But she's framed it as, no, this was a debate.
Well, of course.
And I'm like, I think that's a bit deceptive. And I think it is not only to me, but to our audience as well, who were probably she probably like teed them up for a debate before I went in. I wasn't expecting a debate. I was just expecting like a casual conversation. And
the thing is with her is she's evidently clever, incredibly intelligent, but the bit where she falls flat is actually having an actual plan or an alternative. And also,
oh, you mean the Green Party? Sending the Green Party to UKIP.
Fucking hell, I know. The confines of
she compared the Green Party to UKIP.
No, she wants to turn the Green Party into UKIP because if you do that, this will somehow force Labour to be more progressive.
First past the post said the chat, and he's going, "Fuck you guys." This is the problem. I mean, clearly clever, but clearly like totally way off the mark when it comes to actual practical execution of her ideas. And this is the problem. I mean, she's evidently massively clued up on politics, on the history of politics, knows her shit, but yet is so limited when it comes to actually working with the systems we have to affect any form of change. And that is the thing. And also, a lot of these people, like as she admitted, she uses Twitter for shit posting. Probably one of the accounts that kind of like routinely trolls me with like really like misogynistic memes or something. I'm not saying she does it, but that ilk of shit posters on Twitter just tend to do that. And they're not really trying to affect any real kind of change. They're just trying to get notoriety for being a piss taker, which I guess we all are in our own ways, which I don't have any disrespect against, but it doesn't really make any change if you're not trying to engage with people and get them behind a call to action of sorts, and that's the kind of limitations that I see with her. And Madge is another guy who I was talking to Graham with a little while ago. He's been on the Sunday roast. He knows Al and Rose Pierre pretty well, but he tried to do a gotcha on one of my videos, and I don't normally pop a reply to them because it gives them exposure. And I don't want to give like that no justice when she made like nonsense up about stop the Tories vote. I didn't reply to it because it gives them encouragement. It gives them more kind of clicks. And I didn't want to give nonsense clicks. But he was like, they're so conspiratorial. They think that there's some kind of conspiracy, like who funds you? It's like, no one, mate. No one funds us. We're not living in a lap of luxury, are we? Like, we're not driving Mercs about.
You're not the Bruise Group, are you?
With volunteers, mate. We're not.
It really pisses me off, Tan, because those fuckers in 55 Tufton Street are all bloody millionaires. And that Katie or whatever her name is was on Question Time again last night for like the 18th time. Nobody knows what she does, who she is, who she works for. She just keeps popping up.
Katie Andrews.
I forgot one. I don't know what her name is. She's
Kate Andrews.
Kate Andrews.
Kate Andrews.
Yeah, she's been on 18 times, I think. Someone look it up. She's been on Question Time.
You're getting jealous then.
Ridiculous number of times. And she is funded by the same mysterious funders as everyone else in 55 Tufton Street. She's funded by the petrochemical industry, the tobacco lobby, the arms manufacturers around the world, the military industrial complex. And these daft dickheads on the left are going to us, really scrabbling just to keep the bloody heating on. That's why I'm always got a big jumper and a bloody hat on because it's bloody freezing up here in Durham. And the guy who funds you? And I'm like, is someone funded me? Do you really think? I'd be like, oh my God, £10 super chat. Thank you so much. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's fucking exactly. This is the thing that pisses me off. We're in the shit too. That's why we're doing it. This is what motivates us. Is we're fucked too, and yet you're letting this is the thing that pisses me off when people were relentlessly focusing on the opposition too. It's like you're letting those cunts that are really doing the harm.
All the harm, all the damage.
You're letting them off.
They're going after us instead. It's like. We're on the same side, you absolute clanging dickheads.
Yeah, exactly.
The left would rather sort of punch itself than punch the
Yes.
Exactly. It's like, who do you think? No one's funding us. We're volunteers. Like anything that I put out that's in promotion of StopTheToys.vote is a even fucking Vorders is volunteering for us.
Yeah.
Are we? Where would we pay someone like Vorders from? Like, think about it. Like, it's crazy.
Do you know what as well, Tan? Do you know what? What would it matter if we were? If some bloody philanthropist, the guy from Superdry or the guy from Red or Dead, if Wayne Thingy, when anyway, wanted to give me £1 million to make Labour Social or singing and dancing, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take it, and I'd make Labour Social like 100 times bigger because I'd have the money to do it.
We'd be transparent about who funds us. If someone
but even if I'm saying, like, even if they did fund us, great. And
like, it would be great if Labour actually paid us something. But
Labour are never going to pay us.
Put their hand in their pocket for us, because we're just doing this because we know that that's the only stop closer to getting where we want to be. Is like, you're never going to get anything you want under a Conservative government. You're going to get some of the shit you want with a bit of lobbying under a Labour government. It's just how it works.
Yeah. And this is the point I made to her as well. I said, I said to her, because I say this quite a lot, you under a Conservative government, you get, well, I get nothing.
Exactly.
But if you get a Labour government, I might get 40% of what I want.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather 40% than nothing.
It's a compromise.
And exactly, this is one thing I'd wish I'd brought up, because I wish I hadn't. In Canada, Justin Trudeau's government was being supported by I think I can't remember what party it was, but they pulled out. So he went to the Liberal Party by Jagmeet Singh, and they made a supply of confidence agreement to keep Justin Trudeau's government going, and they managed to get like a lot of really progressive things done. Now, they had to make compromises on some of the things, but they got stuff done. And it's just like, it shocks me that if that were to ever happen in like the UK, say we ever got something like that happened, you'd get a lot of people on the left going, you've sold out to the right wing. And I'm like,
it's helping these people. This is the thing, it's helping all these people.
It's about movement building, and that was what I was trying to get across. You've got to build movements, and you can either build a movement with inside Labour or you can build a movement outside. She was saying, well, to build a movement inside Labour is absolutely impossible.
No,
and
it's
then
not.
To do what?
Exactly.
We've just had on John.
What are we doing here?
It's not. I mean, you can absolutely do that, and you can absolutely have power. But there's this whole kind of like almost purist approach from them lot, which is like, well, if you don't hold them accountable and make them do all the things you want them to do before they get to power, they're never going to do it after. Nonsense. Because with our campaign, if we have enough power and enough weight behind it, and we rally enough people, we're going to have immense power with that. Yeah. And we're going to also, along the way, make contacts with people in Labour. Yeah. And we're going to make contacts, and we're going to do it through the right channels, not through being a permanent party of fucking protest, which is pointless, which is exactly what the old leader did. And that was one of his faults, which is what something that I try to say a lot, is that he eternally opposed. He didn't really provide an answer. He just eternally opposed. And that is not how you get change. You get it by engaging through debate, through conversation, through connections. You do it by...
You've got to buid movements as well. That's what it is. That is building the movement. And what was also funny as well was she pointed out that like the steel union or something had left Labour, and then they'd used billboards, and then because they'd used these billboards to like push a really like marginal issue in these steel communities, Labour then changed their position to be like more progressive on the steel industry.
How long ago was this?
This was not that too long ago. It was about a couple of months ago.
Really?
Remember Keir Starmer did a big speech. He went down to Southport, the big steel plant they've got there down in South Wales. And he actually did sort of a quite big speech. I remember covering it, because I'm a big advocate for decarbonising the steel industry. I think that would be great if we can do that. But to do that, you've really got to get the government behind it and properly fund it. Or else it's never going to work, because you've got to shut down like some of these steel mills for about 20 years And as you saw in when Russia invaded Ukraine, the big steel plant in Mariupol, that went out. So it was, unless it would take like 5 or 10 years to actually relight the furnace for that steel plant.
Really?
Yeah, to be active. So it's really, really important that if you want to really revive the steel industry, if you want to decarbonize the steel industry and produce carbon neutral steel, which in the future is going to be really important, then you need to back the steel industry, and it's going to take about 20 to 25 years to do it, depending on how much you fund them. But it's really important. It's a really key issue. But to do that, you've got to build a movement. You've got to get, steel industry. You've got to get other areas behind this. You've got to sort of build that up, and you've got to go talk to Labour. Ed Miliband's a big pusher of the steel industry. In fact, that's something else that happened this week.
Oh, did she lay into you about the whole Ed Miliband thing?
Yeah, a lot of people going after Keir Starmer took after Ed Miliband, but I don't think he really did. From my point of view, considering
different outlooks.
Yeah, I think
I missed this. What happened?
Ed Miliband are quite friendly.
What happened?
And I think he's going to be at the centre of any, Keir Starmer Labour government. I don't think he really was.
No, but he's heading up like the shadow cabinet. Yeah. Like he's and he rightly so. He's really come into his own in.
So what happened with Ed Miliband? I missed this.
Oh, so Starmer did a speech this week, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was something like past Labour governments have sort of lost their way, and a lot of people have jumped on this, that he was attacking Ed Miliband.
Oh, right. Okay.
But not really when you look at it. I think a lot of people have said, well, actually, he was more interpreting the fact that past Labour governments had sort of let down and did actually leave behind a lot of these red wall places. Which...
Well, I can confirm that to some extent that they did, because I was out door knocking under Corbyn, and he was so concentrated on preaching to the converted that he didn't do anything to try and counter the terrible, and admittedly it was terrible smears and spin and bullshit from the tabloids towards him. But he had this kind of almost petulant arrogance that we're now seeing in Sunak. And once any leader gets to a point of petulance or arrogance, that's it. Game over. People were just turned off in a big way by that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He had that. He had that petulance, this kind of holier than thou approach. And even though what he was saying was often in favour of the common person, the person that's fucking living the shit, it was his manner of delivery. And I had people because obviously our brief was not to even try and counter any of that. I was trying to do it, but I was just dealing with angry people that were believing everything that was coming out, because all he gave a fuck about was people going, oh, Jeremy Corbyn at festivals. And it was infuriating. It was enraging. But I still had...
I remember doing that about this.
Yeah. I still had solidarity and fucking loyalty to my leader. As even though I thought he was being a bit of a dickhead, the same applies to Starmer. I think in some areas he's a bit of a dickhead. On the whole, decent enough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't agree with Starmer 100%, but you've sometimes you're not going to get the ideal person. You are never going to elect an angel when it comes to sort of politics.
Yeah. Not about the leader.
I find it a bit interesting when I meet people my age who are like, I've voted Labour all my life, but I can't vote for them under Starmer. So I'm like, all your life, so you voted for them in 2005 after the invasion of Iraq, but you won't vote for them now when they are literally the only way, the only tool available to us to get the Tories out after 14 years. That there is no other party that can do this.
Can't do that, Graham. We'd be rewarding them.
Well, you must be privileged enough to cope with this shit then. Yeah. You must not be disabled. You must not be facing homeless. You must not be a couple of paychecks away from homelessness. You must be able to afford all the horrible bills then. You must be happy with the racism, the xenophobia then.
In reality, what we've really got to do is we're going to build up the Green Party and somehow make, the Green Party like the UKIP of the left, and force Labour to be progressive.
It's written on a fucking
That
lettuce.
is so
Mad.
mental.
Mad.
So no justice. Ollie, can I just ask?
Jesus
So no
Christ.
justice who you were talking to, was she agreeing then?
She was well, no. According to her, she was affiliated to Labour through a union, and that's how she was originally. But then apparently she got browbeat by a chat, and then that caused her to sort of change. And now I think she's agreeing. But she also might have joined. I don't know if you've seen recently. There's a new party launch of the left. What is it? Not. Is it Together?
Oh my god!
Oh, I've seen that. It's Together or something.
Yeah,
like that,
ran by
and
a former Momentum
it's
person.
just like, no,
oh my
mate,
god!
come
It's about as much
on.
use as True and Fair. It's like, are you fucking
It
mad?
is.
It's
It's
first
just
past the post, mate. It doesn't care about your feelings. We're fucked. We're under a first
Hey,
past the post.
Tan, Gina left a nice message for you today on Twitter.
I love Gina. I love Gina, and I've said this to her directly. Like, I think she's a fucking person.
I think you're a nutter.
No, I don't think she's a nutter. I just think there's no hope for True and Fair under a first past
the
it's
post
just
system.
pointless.
If we had PR, I'd be like, Gina, like, you're lovely. Knock yourself out. Go for it. Okay.
We seem to if we can torture an analogy, I'd like to say it's like we're working with people who are trying to say this is what we want the peace to look like, but in order to get that, we've got to win the war.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Like, I understand that we want to build a better future and we want to build a better Britain, and we want to work together. And for God's sake, we need proportional representation. I would love to see universal basic income. I think it would change everyone's lives. And I want us back in the EU. And they're the radical positions now. And people on the left are telling me that I'm a centralist. And I'm like, do you want to rejoin the EU? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. You know, might upset the right wingers, might upset, people's nans. I'm like, fuck them.
Graham, what you said, right? Okay, I want to make it really clear that I have loads of time and respect for Gina Miller. I think she's awesome as a person. I think the concept of the True and Fair Party is pointless under first past the post. That's all. Like,
once we have PR,
knock yourself out.
I think she'll make a great leader.
I think she would. Like, I saw her speak at the what was it called? The rally that you and I both went to in the summer. I can't remember what it was called. The summer was a bit of a blur. It was the Rejoin March.
The Rejoin March. Yeah,
we had a bit of a chat, and it was nice. And her speech was great, and she is awesome. It's just that under first past the post, it has no hope. That's literally it. That's
it's misguided at the moment. It's just misguided. It's a great nirvana. Vote. You know, it's like brilliant, as Graham said. It's brilliant. Great. I'd love all those pieces as well. You know, we're going from one precipice to another, hopefully, but you've got to have the bloody rope bridge in the middle, or you fall down and you're gone forever, and you turn into, what's the bloody party? I've lost track of often. There's so many left parties now, isn't there? You know, it's bloody ton. You look down the precipice, there's bloody hundreds of them down there.
Breakthrough Party or something.
Breakthrough, the Northern Party, whatever they were bloody called.
The Northern Independence Party.
Party.
It's like you're splitting the progressive vote. You're doing the
working. You've got to have the rope bridge, and you've got to have someone. As Tony Blair always said, you've got to start in the centre and gradually move left, and you bring people.
I've got a question for you, John.
Can't go the other way. Have you? Okay,
John. So today we were talking earlier about Kimmy Bad Enoch. As if there was a
Bad
good Enoch. Yeah. Kimmy Badnock. And
good Enoch is Susan Hall.
She's in a very safe seat. I think Saffron Walden.
Fucking Saffron Walden, I know.
Well, under the new boundaries, it's not Saffron Walden. It's going to contain Saffron Walden. It's now North West Essex, the new one.
It includes
I know Josh has gone, but is there a chance on stopthetories.com you'd actually encourage people to vote Remain? No, Reform. Refuck.
I don't think Reform have got a chance there, realistically.
Surely that would split the Tory vote.
It's Lib Dem.
I see what you mean. We could do a stealth one. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. So you could have a little stealth campaign in North West Essex, because there is a bit of a split there because a lot the new constituency contains a lot of North Chelmsford, and North Chelmsford is very Lib Dem. Chelmsford, not Chelmsford. It's Chelmsford. You've
We call it Chelmsford around here.
Old chompies.
But in all seriousness, Kemi Badenoch or Bad Enoch's seat is there's a big chunk of it of the electorate is in North Chelmsford, which is sorry, I'm going to say it, which is very Lib Dem. And realistically, Labour have not really got. I don't think have got a chance there. But I like what you're saying. To create a bit of a faux Reform UK little counter thing going on. So it takes away a lot of the Tory votes because it is very, very Tory, that seat. That is a real problem. We've got some proper safe Tory seats here in Essex, I can tell you.
Oh, there are.
I'm a bit worried that I'm not communicating the fact that I want proportional representation after this election. I really want it. Someone in the chat is saying, "Oh, you prefer first past the post now?" And I'm like, when the fuck did I say that?
I'm just wondering.
You piss with the dick you've got, okay? Yeah. We have to win this election because we're not going to reform the electoral system in the 6 months we have before the general election. Is this complicated?
I've got to admit.
No,
do I need one of you to like translate it from Scouse into a language that other people understand?
No, we're being clear. We're saying.
Oh, okay, good.
That like people
just me then.
These other fringe parties are pointless under first past the post. And as far as we're concerned, like the real work starts on day one of a new government, right? If we get what we want, which is the ball over the line, we're not going to just sit back and go, oh, great, everything's fine now. We're going to campaign for what we want, which we're going to have fucking demands. We've put up with shit for 3 years for supporting the opposition and trying to help them get to where they are. So we're gonna have our own like demands. But what you were saying, John, about Bad Enoch's territory, Saffron Walden actually falls under my mum's constituency, which is in the villages near like Dunmow, etc. Like that all falls under Saffron Walden. And the back when I remember my nan first told me, rest in peace, of her tactical vote for a Lib Dem. That's when I first understood tactical voting when I was about 12 or 13. And it was always a Lib Dem candidate, which was the best placed alternative, a bit like Somerset, to get out a Tory. Is that still the case in that kind of...
It looks like it, yeah. From even the new MRP that's out there.
They've never had a shot in that constituency ever.
Yeah, I mean, in Essex, so hello Essex people, because I know, but if you're not in Essex, I apologise.
We're long-suffering Essex.
If you are from Essex, I apologise.
We're from Essex. We apologise.
I'm sorry?
So if you're in Chelmsford or Chelmsford, it's Lib Dem. It's Lib Dem, right? Is. Okay, it's just Lib Dem. And north of Chelmsford, which is bit of Saffron Walden, which is now northwest Essex, so Bad Enoch's seat. A lot of it is still Lib Dem. So it is looking like a Lib Dem tactical vote, but they're the only 2 seats in Essex. Everywhere else, it's you've got to vote Labour.
Rachel Harris has just dropped a super chat. Thank you very much, Rachel. I think Liberals should stand the candidate against Rosie Duffield in Canterbury. Only sees I want Labour to lose. I agree. Like I can't stand that. It really upsets me that she hasn't lost the whip for the transphobia that she's been coming out with.
It's such a horrible like situation that, because it's such a kind of, she's got such a majority there, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, but
she's
that's
very
got nothing to do with the
popular
whip, is it?
Still with a lot of the students. My son was there. My son voted. He was there 3 years, and we had 2 elections in those 3 years, didn't we? And for the 2019, I drove him all the way to Canterbury and back just to vote, because he was allowed to vote there. Because obviously now I'm in the safest Tory seat in the whole country under new boundaries. But so our vote didn't count, but his could. So and she's still got a bit of a following there, despite the fact that they do think she's a dick with the shit she comes out with. They still would write.
It's horrible, though. I mean, it's discrimination. We wouldn't accept it against any other minority, John.
Oh, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. I get that. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying what I know from the horse's mouth. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a bit of a fuck up, that, isn't it?
We're getting the question
Liberal
of
would just split the vote there.
We're getting questions like, Farage wants PR, so we're on the same side as Farage.
No.
It's like, I'd love to put Farage at a big wicker phallus and set it on fire. But
I'd say to that, a broken
hang on a minute,
can be right twice a day.
Sorry, you can't just. I've just read that comment. Actually, you can't just disagree with someone because you're supposed to disagree. It's that doesn't work, because if Farage does come out with it and say I want PR, well, so do we. So all right, fine, but it doesn't mean we have to agree with everything the bloody guy says, because we don't. But all right, if you want to join us on that
but
hill,
also,
fine.
Can we just stress it's not a panacea? It's not going to fix all the problems in the fucking world if we get a different electoral system. It's just not. And we know that. We're being realistic, but it would help. It would really, really help, because you wouldn't have got Boris Johnson under PR. You wouldn't have got Nigel Farage getting in as much power as he has had without even being an elected MP without PR.
No.
Sorry, if we didn't have PR. If we did have PR. Sorry. So nice.
He wants PR because under PR, he would have a fucking stab at it rather than getting beaten by a dolphin, right? The only reason that the reform dickheads want PR is because under the current system, they've not got a shot in hell of getting anywhere. All they're going to do is further split the right vote. So they're going to help us get a Labour government, because all the far right dickheads that don't think the Tories are going far enough towards harming asylum seekers, they're going to go over to Reform. But Reform know that under first past the post, they've not got a shot in hell of getting enough votes to get anywhere, to have any form of real power. They think they've got a shot under PR. So that's the only reason they want it. They don't want it for any form of progressive purposes. They want it so they can try and have some semblance.
They can get more power. They can get more power.
They can technically, but they wouldn't generally, because as everything has shown, Britain is more progressive than it is hard right. So we've always, if we didn't have first past the post, we would have had progressive leading parties for many, many, many years. But it's just the voting system is stacked in the favour of the dickheads. That's simply it. So they want PR, but for different reasons. So they can try and cling to a bit of power, have a bit of hope of not getting humiliated in a sports centre at 4 a.m. But they still get humiliated in a sports centre at 4
we point out at a conference last year, Labour members and union reps voted for taking PR on as a policy. And that's not going to change. The only thing that's going to happen is more people are going to come on board for it.
Yeah.
There were people in question time last night.
You've got to take the rough with the smooth on it. PR is not.
Absolutely.
It's great, and I want it. I do want it, but you have to keep in mind that PR will not get rid of all the bad shit.
No.
So in 2015, if we had PR, UKIP would have had 80 seats.
Yeah.
They've had 80 seats. Now, it would perversely, I'd been all right with that, because it would have been a fairer voting system, and you've just got to put your hands up and go, all right, well then there's something wrong here. If UKIP can win 80 seats, we need to change.
Labour need to get better. Labour and the Democrats in America need to get better at the fucking comms. Why aren't they on telly every night? This drives me up the wall. Like, every time you see a clip of American politics, it's always the Republicans doing something mad. They're in the news headlines every day. Same thing happens over here. Every single day, a Tory's done something mad. We never hear from the Labour lot on the same level. And that's why you can go out onto the street today and say, name me 5 Labour MPs, and people won't be able to do it. Name me 3.
Yeah,
they won't be able to do it.
That's the entire reason why you set up this channel. But
yes.
Also, there's not many left-wing think tanks, and there's not many people willing to fund left-wing think tanks because dickheads.
Because all the rich people are evil.
Absolutely.
That's why we have to.
It's another thing. I think Labour needs to. Well, not just the Labour, but the left in general needs to be more business friendly and talk about business, because look, we're all fine. We know workers. We don't want workers exploited. But at the end of the day, 80% of like the business infrastructure in the UK is focused toward SMEs, not these big multinational corporate businesses. Most of your town, your locality is supported by SMEs. These are businesses with 100 to 500 employees. These are not
small to medium enterprises, isn't it? Like
yeah, these are not big, massive companies, but these are like the predominant employer. And the left gives nothing to these people. It doesn't talk about them. It lumps them in with the same international, you're exploiting your workers, etc., etc. So guess what? These people who might not have, 10 grand to spare, but they might have a grand to spare. Yeah. Could have like donated to Labour or progressive causes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people left who just don't have anything to say about business, and it's a massive weakness. It's like foreign policy as well. I think the left is really, really bad on foreign policy.
Well, Blair wasn't, unfortunately. I wish he had been.
Yeah.
He did that because I don't know, like.
Well, he was successful. He'd been successful in Kosovo.
He fucking was. Yeah, to some extent he was, and like
he was successful in Kosovo, but he was also successful in Sierra Leone, and that's why he thought, we can solve the world's problems using military might, and you can't always do that. Doesn't always work.
No.
Especially not when you get to bed with fucking Bush. Absolutely not. But then
dance with the devil.
A lot of people talk about the way that because Brown had domestic policy covered, that he looked further afield for his, legacy, didn't he? Because Brown, basically everything that was sorted out at home was pretty much Brown.
Yeah.
Brown is, I think, a really underestimated politician. I love him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If the 2008 financial crash hadn't happened, I think things would have been very different.
But it would have been a lot worse had we not had Brown. And this is the thing that people don't realize. They like talk bullshit about selling off gold. Like there's always the same shit that comes up.
Selling off the gold.
Praise Brown. Gordon Brown, Texture Like Sun, is the PM we did not deserve. Like he was an amazing man. Like I'm an unashamed Brownite. People accuse me of being like a Blairite. Absolutely not. The man was bloody mentored by John Smith, the great late John Smith. He was awesome. He was like he was a good mixture of progressive yet traditional Labour values. And I think that practical
solutions to problems that we face in real life. It wasn't theoretical for him.
He cared. He gave a fuck about people. Yeah. And he like what he did in terms of bringing millions of kids out of poverty, millions of elderly people out of poverty through things like tax credits, like almost like tax by stealth, like help redistribution by stealth. Amazing policy. And it's so sad that Labour have to do that shit by stealth. Otherwise they'll get accused of being like, you're giving free handouts, and they'll get smeared by the press or whatever. But the changes that they made to Britain, Iraq, fucking bad. But everything prior to that, what they did for Britain was like, there's a list that long of shit that they did to help Britain. They left us in a way better state. And then the Tories came in and they just ruined everything. They just chipped away at everything, cut everything.
And now Labour have got to fix all the problems. They're going to spend the next 5 years fixing the problems. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And real bad news tonight. Ollie, have you heard about Maersk?
Oh, what pun?
That Maersk, the biggest shipping company in the world, have decided they're not going to be going up the Red Sea to the Suez Canal now because it's too dangerous because of people in the Houthi rebels in Yemen firing rockets at cargo ships. So now they're going to be going all the way around Africa instead, which means that everything you buy is going to go up in price. And also, the Tories have not, they keep pushing back the date that they start the photosanitary checks on food and veg and things like that coming in from Europe because they haven't been doing it so far. They were going to push it back. They haven't. And it kicks in January. And your food bills are going to go through the fucking roof.
Fuck.
Fuck me.
But, Rwanda.
Fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but small boats, though.
Yeah,
small boats.
Yeah. Yeah, don't forget small boats.
Talking on Aid's show about this, I was like, everything you're fucking seeing is just pure deflection. Every aspect of our country that you could possibly look at in terms of what we need and what we've paid for is on fucking fire. The NHS, the private renting sector, the social, housing sector, social care, everything that we might need, education, literally, the justice system. Like, if the courts aren't falling in, you're waiting 2 years for your perpetrator to face any form of justice at best. Like, every fucking area of this country is on fire. So everything they're doing now is just pure dead cat deflection mode. Like, everything is just a massive deflection.
Yeah, the court system is probably the biggest shocking one. If you really want to get an insight into how bad it is, go follow The Secret Barrister and have a look at their blog and read their
book. That is a fantastic book.
It's shocking. Like,
that's so backed up.
2 years to see their rapist face any form of trial, which he's likely to get off from anyway.
So the justice system, the NHS, massive raising list, and the police, that
every area
they have a recruitment crisis where basically they've got a lot of people working for the police right now who should not be in the police. They shouldn't be walking the streets, to be honest with you. They should be in jail.
Yeah,
and they're working for the police, and they can't get rid of them because they haven't had the new recruits coming in because the Tories have starved them of funding. And Theresa May, actually, when she was Home Secretary, laughed. She laughed at the police federation, saying, "Ha! You thought she wouldn't be able to do it? 20,000 fewer police officers. Well, yeah, you couldn't."
What do you expect from a woman that literally just buried crime fucking files anyway? Like, she is. Did
they take fraud out of the crime statistics and then claim that crime had gone down?
And I love the way the Tories are so adept at kind of giving back 5% of the 50% they've took away and claiming it's a fucking victory too.
Yes, yeah, very good point.
All these people, but look, we've put back 4 more. It's like, wow.
I know. Well, the best one is the boats. How many people coming over in the boats, Rishi? Oh, it's down by a third. He must have said down by a third about 5,000 times over the last month. And it's like, what about the year before? And it's more.
They're counting on legacy statistics. Like, I looked on factcheck.com and they called out government ministers for focusing on legacy statistics. So it's bullshit.
We were supposed to be asking questions here on Mystery Hour, but Wayne's disappeared.
Ranting, angry.
Yeah, we always start talking politics. Also, the ships will use more fuel.
I've got to pop off, but
feel
free to join me for the Good Morning Walk tomorrow morning.
Okay. Yes.
I'm doing the Good Morning Walk tomorrow morning.
What's that?
It's where I live stream, where I have my walk through the fields, and maybe we encounter some ponies.
Sorry.
And the Barnsley
Sorry, did you spell that right? Did I hear that right? Sorry.
So it's the Good Morning Walk.
Don't forget the Barnsley Triangle.
Oh yes, the infamous Barnsley Triangle.
Is that a euphemism?
Oh no, that's an actual thing. It's a magical zone where anything could happen in the next 60 seconds.
Again, is that
that's definitely a euphemism. I need to go to Barnsley now.
Go to the Triangle.
Yeah.
I think
and with that, I shall leave you all, and I shall see you all very soon.
Cheers, Ollie.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna have to readjust my.
Are we gonna fuck off now?
I am on the count. Well, listen, we'll just carry on till 11, and then we'll call it a day. I don't know if Darren's gone. Darren's gone the loo or something. Just make myself a little bigger. Hey, as the actress said to the bishop. No, the bishop said to the. Anyway, George, thank you very much for the super chats. I'm certain that the media is as part of everything that's wrong with our country right now as any government. We talked about this in the afternoon show. The agenda with me and Phil Morehouse. We talked about this today because when Labour get in, they've got a huge opportunity now to do Levinson 2 after what's happened today. Got more reason to do it than ever.
They fucking have to.
Yes.
Because it's illegal. Like, what has happened has proven that there's a massive, like, what we all knew was happening all along. Like,
yeah.
It's a massive problem. You can't justify surveillance of public figures based on the fact that they're just public figures. That is like a massive infringement on every level of a person's being. You can't justify that. It's like them justifying just because we've built a big social media network that we're okay to spy on. I mean, they probably are spying on us, to be fair, but
no, but like... they spied on. Well, they deleted voicemails off a young girl who was murdered, so they could. Yeah. I mean, their action should have landed them all in jail, all of them. I mean, that is a criminal offence. Like, you're interfering with a murder investigation, potentially letting a murderer off the hook for the worst crime you can commit. And yeah, they were all in on it. And Levinson too. I think that Storm was going to be up for it, because obviously he was the director of public prosecutions when people like Murdoch's Brood, Rebecca Thingy, red hair woman. What's her name?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Rebecca Brooks.
Rebecca Brooks. That's the one. Where she was on trial, and he has no love for the tabloid press, unlike the Tories, who all work for the tabloid press, and it's a revolving door. Oh my God, did anyone see the interview that Marina did with Dan Hodges?
Not yet, but he's a...
Not yet, no.
Oh my God, she just says to him, "Are you not bothered about the revolving door between press and the Tory party?" No, okay.
Of course,
you're not bothered about the fact that all the main newspapers are owned by foreigners or non-dom people who live on the other side of the planet and don't live here, don't pay tax here. No, don't care about that. Everything she asked him, he's just like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I couldn't give a fuck. And I was just watching it going, oh my God.
I've met the guy. Like, this is weird. There's a weird thing with Dan Hodges, right? Like, the thing is, as a person, he's likable. Like, he comes across as a gentleman. He comes across as someone that's kind of quite friendly, sound, someone you could probably have a chat with and think you're not a dickhead, right? The moment you try and quiz him on the policies of the Mail, on the way that they've behaved, it's like the shutters come down. It's bizarre. He's got like this unwavering loyalty to a corporation that doesn't give a fucking shit about him, and it's so at odds with the kind of politics of his mum and the politics that he used to hold, that you think, like, my immediate thought is, God, they must be paying you well, mate. They must be really paying you well for you to have changed tack, because a lot of the tweets that he was putting out about the COVID inquiry was so crass. It was like he was treating it like it was like a fun, like, oh, it's getting fun now. It's a boxing match. And I was like, Dan, 200,000 people are dead, mate. These people are grieving. How are you describing this as fun? Yeah. Like, it's disgusting that you're describing this as fun.
Yeah, some people who are horrible, can come across as personable, but that's because they're psychopaths. By the way, if you just said the news that's just broken about Rudy Giuliani.
A what?
He has to pay $148 million over false election claims. That's just on the BBC website. There it is. Wow. $148 million.
Ouch. He's got to pay.
Is he the fella that was caught out by...
And the quarterback is toast.
Wasn't he?
The Borat film.
Yeah, where he was trying to shag a young girl or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to Paul in the chat for pointing that out. Cheers, Paul. $148 million.
That's the least.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer gobshite.
The guy's a disgusting sex pervert, like, that tried to, I think, in the Borat film, shag a young girl or something.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
He's a horrible little man.
Yeah. Someone said here that he comes across as... I think that the thing with Dan, which is the thing with a lot of people that are involved with the Mail, is I think my assessment is that he's in it for the cash. Like, I think that I don't think he really believes what he's talking about. I think he's doing it because he knows it's an earner to some extent. because he wasn't a he didn't come mind you, it's hard. Like I'm a pretty good judge of character, but he didn't come across as a dickhead. Like that's the weird thing about it. Like
if I'm honest, I have a little theory. Now I could be barking up the wrong tree, but I think it's the way they speak and the way they talk, softly spoken. You get Dan Wotton, and you get Andrew Pierce, and you get Dan Hodges. Like, they all sound quite softly spoken, and I suppose in a way it's have that little sort of a trusting voice, if you know what I mean.
I'm not easily fooled by that. I mean, Marina and I Marina more so grilled the fuck out of him, right? And I've never encountered someone he's a very skilled debater, very skilled. Like, you can tell that he's done it a lot, but he is so slippery and evasive. Like, at one point, it almost verged on misogynistic, where he was trying to make out that the questions were hysterical, or it was just like nonsense. Like, that part of it, I just thought, like, and he was like trying to get a reaction out of that part, and I thought that was below the belt. But then there was also parts where you would ask a question, a direct question, and he would divert it into a broader question. And it was just like the ducking and weaving and slippery. Like, if I had been a more skilled debater, I could have probably handled it a lot better. Marina handled it perfectly. Like, I'm glad Marina's on our side. She's so sharp. But he was evasive, the most slippery person I've ever tried to have a debate with ever. And it's almost like his key skill is evading a question, almost like a politician. Yeah. So he focuses strongly on the narrative that he wants to put out. Anything else anyone else tries to come in with is just like batted off. Yeah. It was so surreal.
So they taught this. Someone's asked if he went to private school. I don't think Dan Hodges did. He's not on my list anyway. But they're taught. Do you know the yes/no game where you've got to answer like 20 questions in a minute and you can't say yes and no?
Yeah.
They're taught how to do that.
Yes.
Basically, you start every sentence with I think, I will, well, from my experience, etc. And and then what they're also taught is to turn the question around to what you want the question to be. So, if I want to talk about the weather and you ask me, how to go, and I'll say it could be going better, but this weather is obviously bringing in what I want to talk about, not actually answering your question. We'll just bat that aside, as you said. But yeah, they're taught to do this, politicians and journalists, and that's why I'm really, really appreciating Victoria Derbyshire on the BBC at the moment. She is brilliant. She's the last. She is our last person standing at the moment who can actually take the Tories to task. She's brilliant. She's great when she takes over for Laura Kunsberg. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's someone on the Laura Kunsberg show actually asking questions instead of tickling the bloody Tories' tummies." And she did Question Time once, I think. She presented Question Time, and she was so much better than Fiona Bruce. She was just brilliant.
I saw that one. She was brilliant.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And sorry to interrupt, but Wayne Keenan, thank you very much for the super chat. Graham, can you make your Chunky Hoodie branded merch? I can't. And Hattie and the gang who make these Chunky Hoodies, they don't make any. They don't have any male hoodies, because someone's asking about it the other day, so we looked it up, and I think they don't make the male hoodies anymore.
Hang on a minute, what is that? A lady hoodie?
No, this is a boy hoodie.
Oh.
Yeah, but they I think they now only make the lady hoodies. But I like it because it looks like I'm a spaceman and I've taken my bubble helmet off.
I love the really thick, because on my lip podcast video I've only got thin like bits, but it is a nice thick kind of like, it looks like I've got really thick arms. That's like the width of my but it makes me look like I've got big bingo wings or something. But it's quite small. But,
I like your top. It's very 90s. It's very Britpop.
That's the look that I've always gone for. Like I loved in the 90s. I tell you what, I wish I could still buy them, but they've only got fucking superstars now. I love the old Shelto 90s Adidas trainers. That's what I lived in when I was like a 14-year-old.
Oh, I remember them.
The old Adidas shell toe, flat, proper, not chunky like Superstars. And I had a blue pair with the blue lines, and I wore them all throughout my school years. Like I'm not going to lie to you, I was as cool as fuck. And I wore Reebok Classic, I did, keep at Essex. And I had a pair of Adidas shell toe, old school, like the old 70s style trainers when I was younger. And I used to wear them with like a camo skirt when I was like about 13 or 14 in the 90s.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I was cool. I was actually cool. I've got old pictures. But I grew up with Adidas stuff. But someone once tried to flag a video on TikTok, and they tried to claim that I was advertising. I was like, I'm not fucking Kanye. Like, they're not going to pay me some bellend to wear Adidas. But I just wear it because I think it's cool. I like the old 70s style of it, you know. And the 90s, it's just me having a midlife crisis, I think.
I don't worry about it. Just like when it comes to my wife, she's known throughout family, and especially in this family, as the Adidas queen. She loves Adidas, so
I love that. I do. I like, as a brand, it's the kind of, I think it's the brand that I grew up with. I'm not a brand person.
Yeah.
Like, but they make like the cropped hoodies that I'm after. Like, because I'm a short person, anything else kind of swamps me. I'm only 5'4", so anything else kind of like just comes down too baggy on me. So I don't want to do a Billie Eilish. So I wear yeah, I like a cropped Adidas, but that's it. Like trainers and jumpers, that's it. That's the only brand I think I wear, actually.
So some of the chat about Dan Hodges coming through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Himmler was a soft speaker. Surprisingly, I'm not very soft spoken. That's from Duke Vengeance. Wasn't Ted Bundy like that? That's why he was a serial killer. Is this Dan Hodges the son of Glenda Jackson? Yes, it is. And Nick and Diff is saying that's how you know Sunak is so out of his depth. He goes from tetchy to screaming in your face very quickly, can't hold a debate or have a conviction in his arguments. Hodges is defo psychopath levels, and I get that from him as well. And this great comment from Rachel. Thanks, Rachel. Can't watch Question Time anymore. All the Tufton Street Eva brawns they bring on are upsetting. What a great turn of phrase. Tufton Street Eva brawns.
I don't get psychopath vibes from Hodges. Like, I get moneyed, paid off vibes from Hodges. Like, I don't think that he believes it. I think he's in it because it's his job. Like,
but isn't that a psychopath?
I don't get, like, I've met some, like, I've grown up with psychopaths, people that are proper empty up there, and I don't get that vibe from him. I get it's a game vibe to him. It's just a means to an end, a job vibe from him. I don't get I could be wrong. Like, I'm not defending the guy. I think that a lot of what he comes out with is fucking indefensible, but I don't get the impression from him that he's a shithead. I just think I get the impression from him that he's bought. And that's different, I think. Because I think I'm a pretty good judge of that type of person. But I could be massive. Wow.
We've got an interesting thing circling back to the whole. This was supposed to be us playing Mystery fucking Hour, which didn't happen. Apparently, Tan, according to Patrick, Adidas stands for after dinner I do a shit.
I thought it was All Day I Dream About Sex. The Chord wrote a song about it.
No, it's after dinner I do a shit, mate.
Adidas.
That's what Adidas by Korn. That's what
I'm going with John's motto because I did.
After dinner I do a shit. It's actually short for Adolf Dassler, isn't it? Who was the inventor of the shoe? Who had a big falling out with his brother, who started the Puma brand.
I'm with Mortar. Like, I'm going with his philosophy because I think it's the best one.
Adidas, the guy who created it. That's what Lee Korn says in the chat. You see, and the two brothers, they used to have a shoe shop together, and then during the war, They were down in the basement, and down comes Addy with his family, Addy Adolf, and he says, "Here come the bastards again." And his brother thought he was talking about him. He reckons he was talking about the British because they were being bombed because they were in Germany. And they never spoke again, and they had rival firms. And apparently, the town in which they grew up is now split, like football teams, like Everton and Liverpool, split down the middle between the people who only wear Puma and the people who only wear Adidas.
What the fuck?
And I like to imagine they have fights in the street about it.
Were the Adidas lot the good lot?
No, they're both evil.
Oh, shit.
No, I don't know.
But what do we have though? Shoe Save.
Shoe Save, yeah.
Shoe Save,
Puma.
Jet 777. Right.
Puma.
The Germans win that.
Dunlop. Sorry, not Puma. Dunlop, yeah.
Oh,
Dunlop Green
yeah.
Flash.
It's so weird, the conspiracies that people
Class.
come up with, because there's been a bunch of people that have kind of said to me, "Oh, you're trying to promote Adidas or whatever." It's like, no, man, I just like the hoodies. Like, I just like the hoodies. Like, people think that you're trying to, like, if you somehow manage to magically, I don't know how I managed to end up with people following me, but they think that you're trying to sell stuff. I'm not trying to sell anything. Like, I buy everything myself. So it's
Well,
just.
I'm just advertising Coca-Cola with this Santa hat because I'm a corporate boss.
You are as well.
I'm just advertising Bantams.
I'm advertising 90s Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah.
10
Get
era. 10 and Versus era. The best.
Classic. Someone's done on TikTok, like, this is what Pearl Jam sounds to people who don't like Pearl Jam, and it's so funny.
I don't like Pearl Jam, I admit. I don't.
Really? You don't like Pearl Jam?
I think it does sound like. Mind you, I'm the person that ended up at a Soundgarden gig in Brixton, because my mate, one of my old mates at the time, sadly turned out to be a fucking conspiracy theorist during COVID, and we fell out. But
Yeah.
he took me to a Soundgarden gig because he thought he liked Soundgarden. I didn't. And it was just so fucking boring. I wasn't into Soundgarden at all.
Blasphemy. Get out.
Get out.
I know.
Someone says in the chat that they would like to have dinner with Chris Cornell.
Fucking dragged on Black Hole Sun for too long, and it was too much, and I was just standing there throughout the whole thing. And one of the best parts of that night for me was when me and my friend Kitty and her girlfriend were doing like little beer spits at each other to keep ourselves entertained because we were bored. Like, that was I went to a Soundgarden gig and I was just fucking good, mate.
I think there's two gigs I went to that I went a couple of times. I went to see Thunder.
I saw Luke Morley last week, actually. I chatted to Luke last week.
Backstreet Symphony.
The Almighty gig.
Backstreet Symphony.
That's an album and a half, man.
Oh, it's brilliant. They're absolutely
punchy,
so fine. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Yes. And the second one was they were the loudest. They were absolutely rock shit loud. Wasp.
I saw Wasp last year.
Blackie Lawless.
Still got it, man.
Still got it. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Still got it. Do you want a Thunder story? Very quick Thunder story, right? I saw Luke Morley last week, funny enough. I saw Luke, but I've known Luke for about 15 odd years.
And brilliant.
And I went to the Metal Hammer Awards many years ago, and I won one of the awards, right? And so they took us all, they sort of ushered us all backstage. And this was at the O2 Indigo, right, in Greenwich. And we was holding this little like metal thing. It wasn't, glory. It wasn't an Oscar or anything, but it was quite cool. It was an award, I was sort of like holding this thing.
An award.
Luke Morley from Thunder came up to me, and he's got his proper Cockney accent. He's going, "All right, mate, I think that was brilliant what you did there. Do you want a beer?" And I just, fuck me, Luke Morley. You're like, whoa, shit. I was like, yeah. He takes me over to the bar. And at the bar, he goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Joe, can you get what do you want, mate?" And I went, I just picked a beer. I don't know which one it was. He goes, "Yeah, can you get Johnny one of those as well?" Yeah, and the guy at the bar was Joe Elliott from Def Leppard.
Oh,
Come on, that's rock and roll.
And it just absolutely fucking rock and roll. I've got to say, Danny from Thunder, he had a right pair of pipes on him, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not well at the moment either. But yeah, you're right. He's brilliant singer. Sorry, everyone else. This is probably boring all of you, but Thunder are brilliant.
I always used to love the drummer because he's just off
Harry.
Yeah, because every time
he's a friend of mine as well. Weirdly,
I always love when it comes on. He did get a guitar out and wear some strange wig and start doing did sing a song in the of New York, but he'd change the name of whatever city he's in, and he'd do it with Bradford, you know. He brilliant.
Cracking man.
I mean,
one of the best gigs and one of the worst gigs that I've ever been to are by the same band. One of the best gigs I ever went to was Smashing Pumpkins at the 9X in 1996. So it was on the Melancholy and Infinite Sadness tour, and they were supported by Filter, and they were absolutely brilliant. They played all the hits, fantastic. A year later, I saw them at a very, very, very muddy Glastonbury festival, and the 9X date was probably one of the first dates of the European tour. The year later, they must have been on the fucking 714th date of their tour, and they just couldn't be arsed. And I actually, while you were talking, then I was looking at the set list. Glimpses, a Yardbirds cover. Where Boys Free to Tread, XYU, The Aeroplane Flies High, Turns Left. This is what they were playing at Glastonbury. It was just a load of B-sides. Yeah, the end is the beginning is the end, which is off Batman, and also on the Watchmen trailer. And it was just standing there in a muddy field watching this band, and you're really excited because you're like, oh, it's a Smashing Pumpkins, and they didn't play today.
What?
And I'm like, when are they going to play today? And they went off stage, and I remember everyone going, today, and that was it, we're done.
It's a festival song. If ever
I know, beds.
Today.
The heart wasn't in it. They just didn't care. They were just on the stage going, where are we? So yeah, best gig, worst gig, same band.
Same, actually. Radiohead, believe it or not. Because
really?
Radiohead, my best gig of all time was Radiohead in Rainbow's Tour, Victoria Park. Fucking epic gig. And the worst gig that I ever saw, probably because it was like a kind of begrudging anniversary present with my ex. We were supposed to see Radiohead in Manchester, but obviously the Manchester bombings happened. We diverted from the arena to the Emirates, right? And it was a terrible setup for Radiohead. You could barely hear them. And it was a really, really shit Radiohead gig. It was like listening to Radiohead, even though we were relatively close, playing. They opened with fucking Lucky as well, and we were still in a queue, stuck because the queuing system was so shit.
Oh,
and
no.
Like listening to Radiohead playing in a tinny car stereo about like 10 meters down the road, like it was just you could barely hear anything. It was shit.
Oh god.
So it was, like Radiohead always belt it out, and they put on awesome gigs, but nothing could ever beat Radiohead on the In Rainbows tour of Victoria Park. It was the best gig. Bat for Lashes supporting as well. Amazing. Wow. But yeah, like it was, I don't think it was necessarily Radiohead's fault. I think it was the fact that they weren't supposed to play in a fucking cricket ground. I think it was just a really terrible open air venue for them to play in. It was really,
and the sound was just shite. It was just terrible.
The sound was terrible. Right. And we even snuck into a bit that we weren't supposed to be in, that was a bit closer, and it was still shit. But I could hear them opening with Lucky whilst I was still stuck trying to kind of navigate my way through the shitty queuing system. Yeah. So yeah, it was bad. But yeah.
Countdown to Power saying I've seen Radiohead 5 times. I think I've seen them 9 times. I've also got the set.
I saw him on the Pablo Honey tour.
Oh, did you? Oh, you cheeky
yeah.
You're a little bit older than us though, so I would have seen them on the Pablo Honey tour.
Monkey.
Had I been 2 years older, I would have definitely seen them. I saw them.
Stevie Wonder was one to see.
Yeah, I saw them in '96 at the Apollo in Manchester. That was a fantastic gig. Saw them in '97 at the Manchester 9X, and got the set list. Saw them at Glastonbury that summer. Got the set list. And I got the set list from the September 7th gig in the Blackpool.
97 was the OK Computer era. Like
Yes, it was the year of OK Computer came out. So in '96, they played an acoustic version of No Surprises a year before the album came out.
Oh my God.
There you go. Have that. It was amazing.
You bastard. You absolute bastard. I mean, I'd have loved to have seen Elton John at Glastonbury, but I had to go home early because it was a bit too crammed, to be honest with you. I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have done. And I had some knobheads next to us doing those balloons, Noxus oxide, whatever, yeah. And so every 5 seconds there was just like noise, and I'm like, guys, can you shut up? We're trying to listen to Elton John, and they're like, yeah, sure, man. And I'm like, oh, Knobs would probably enhance the experience, but yeah, I mean, I heard it was dangerously crowded, because it was obviously like once in a lifetime opportunity, wasn't it? But Stevie Wonder I think it was Hyde Park. I saw Stevie Wonder, and he came on stage wearing like a fucking muumuu, playing a guitar, playing beginning bars to like Superstition. And it was fucking crazy.
Song.
And that was amazing seeing Stevie. But I never got to see Bowie. I never got to see Prince. Never got to see Freddie Mercury.
I nearly got to see Prince.
Oh,
I was that close. I nearly got to see him when he did his little free gigs in London when he played Coco in Camden in about 2014.
Love to
see. And the person I was seeing at the time was a music like a journalist, and she sort of literally rings up. Wow. At about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm in Chelmsford. She's over in. Sorry, I got to say it like that now, Chelmsford. And she was over in South London where she lived, right? And I got this phone call going, "Oh God, where are you? Can you get into London like now?" And this was 2014ish, so the kids were still quite young at the time. I couldn't make it in. I can't remember why. I couldn't make it in. I said, "No, I can't tonight. I can't do it." Why? Oh, I might have a free ticket and an after show for Prince at Camden. I was like, what? And I couldn't go. I pulled heaven and earth, just couldn't go. Right. And she not only got in, she got into the after show party as well, which was like tiny. It's only like Coco in Camden, so it's not huge. And Prince weren't about after show at all, but his band, the singers, I can't remember, they're called Third Eye or something. His singing backing band were in there, and they had put on this spread. Apparently, the food was amazing. They just put this so much food, free drink, just help yourself. And because I wasn't there, she's wearing this sort of like massive coat. She used to have this really long, like 70s looking coat. It wasn't fur, but it was that sort of thing, and the big pockets. And she basically stole a load of like because apparently the Stilton was so good, she stole it and she's putting shit in her coat. And I went over the following evening, and she goes, "Come to the fridge. I've got something to show you." I was like, "What the hell is this?" She opens his fridge, and there's all these like cheeses. There's all these little baby bells. They weren't baby bells. They were obviously very posh ones. But just honestly, she'd stolen loads of it.
Nicked all of Prince's cheese.
She goes, "That's Prince's cheese."
It's a little bit like that. It's a little bit like that scene in 1984, isn't it?
She got one of his picks as well. She actually got a pick, and it's got the little symbol. The ones he uses, they were thicker. They're actually proper thick ones, but they had the symbol in like a 3D sort of thing. Honestly, I've never seen a pick better than that in my life. And she bloody got one, and I could have gone for free, and I didn't. So that's my worst gig because I didn't.
Oh no!
Yeah,
man. Sorry. So we started off trying to do Mystery Hour without Wayne, who's got the Mystery Hour board game that we're going to play, and then we talked about politics, and now we're talking about rock and roll. And I think Lee's like, what? I thought you were talking about Aldi. Why are you talking about rock and roll?
To Aldi. Who sang the song "Breaking Into Aldi"? I think it was the same team who did "Kiss the Leather." I can't remember what they're called.
Do you remember Netto supermarkets?
Fat White Family.
Yes.
Do you remember Netto? We used to have a Netto around the corner from us in Walton, where I lived in Liverpool, and we used to sing "In the Netto." like in
In
the
the
ghetto. In the
In
net.
the
It's one thing that you don't need is another bag of frozen peas from the Netto. From Roberto.
What was the name of that amazing comedian that died way too fucking young?
Sean Locke.
Sean Locke. He did a great piece on how shopping in Aldi and Lidl is like going on holiday and shopping. It's like, just mystery items, bees cooking in their own business,
It makes it more fun because you don't know what's going to be in the middle of Lidl.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to be in the mystery aisle.
Also, half the fucking price of Tesco. So,
I love Aldi. I've got an Aldi.
I don't know if the guys who own Aldi or Lidl, I don't know if they give £10 million to the fucking Tory party, but the guy who was part of Sainsbury's did.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Hang on, no, be careful there. That's not quite.
Sorry.
But he's not to do with Sainsbury's, the brand, anymore. It's the family. But it's so you got to be careful because one of the other ones gave to, I think, Labour or Lib Dems or something like that. So
Lib Dems.
Yeah, so
not enough.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grey one. That one. It's not necessarily supported the Tories.
Basically, he had no part to do with the company since '92. He was a fucking dickhead who donated 10 million to the Tories. But what I found out from doing a bit of digging is that Sainsbury's have sold off most of their shares to the Qatari royal family's fund.
Oh, nice.
And so most of the people that actually own Sainsbury's, it's even worse. Most of the people that now own Sainsbury's are the Qatari royal family, whereas the actual Sainsbury family themselves have like a really minimal amount of shares. But some of the people nowadays who are a part of the former shareholding Sainsbury family donate to progressive parties more so than they do the wankers. It's just this old legacy wanker who bought his lordship, evidently, and he donated a vast sum to the Tories for it because he got to be a lord for a bit.
Bastard.
The
Sainsbury's and Man City.
Whereas the original,
original
family members donate to Labour and they donate to Lib Dems, so they're donating to progressive parties. Right. So
should we boycott Sainsbury's or not, Tan?
No.
But it is too expensive for me, so I'm just going to
I would say be careful because you're donating largely to the fucking Qatari royal family.
Well, then we should boycott it then.
Well,
or just don't buy Brewdog from there. How about that? There you go.
I don't really drink Brewdog anyway. I don't really know. I don't know anything about real ale, so I just stick with what my dad used to call Euro.
Well, if you don't know anything about real ale, don't worry. Brewdog is not real ale.
Okay, good. And people in the chat were saying when you said the young comedian who died too young, everyone's saying Bill Hicks, and yes, can we just have a little moment to acknowledge the late great Bill Hicks? Just what a guy.
I donate my youth to Bill Hicks because he's the one that told me that if you do drugs, you laugh your ass off and have a great time, and that was my 20s. So.
Yeah,
I agree.
I like this comment from Rachel. Can't listen to Mumford & Sons because of the connection to GB News. Mind you, didn't listen to them before.
Bunch of jiggly jangly fucking banjo wankers.
Banjo wank. Posh public school banjo
wankers.
Mumford & Sons are garbage.
They are.
Oh, that's good.
They are fucking dickheads. Fuck the lot of them.
Right, so I think we should probably call it a night, guys. It's 11:20.
We should.
This is it. Whenever me and Tan, whenever I text Tan, says, "Do you fancy a quick chat?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I've only got 5 minutes," and literally an hour later, we're still nattering away on the phone, putting the world to rights. Well, it always happens.
Graham and I can never have a quick chat. It's always both of us doing.
And another thing.
And this connects to this thing in a tangent. There's a tangent here.
Well, before you finish, if I don't see you again, have a fantastic Christmas, a lot of you.
Oh, thanks, Darren.
Yourself, you legend. Big up yourself. You and
Happy Christmas, sir.
And you and John, the guys that know loads about bands that I've never heard. I've never heard a fucking Wasp in my life. Or Thunder. But
have you heard of Ned's Atomic Dustbin then?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
But now I want them all to form a super band, Thunder Wasp, and I want them to take over the world, ideally. But
So before we go, I was just going to ask, there was one news story of the week that really stood out for you. So we can start with Tan. Is it one? I know you just did a roundup of the year with Aid, but like, is there anything this week that you just thought, what the fuck?
What do you mean, in a good way or a bad way?
Either. Just one news story that you've just gone, my God, what?
Well,
could be good, could be bad.
I think that I could get more of a knot or a sick feeling in my stomach after COVID, after austerity, after the government's recent appalling rhetoric. But the one thing that really made me feel sick and disgusted and even more shameful to be British was the news story of the young man dying on the Bibby Stockholm, which brought tears to my eyes and enraged.
He asked for help, didn't he? And the security guard told him to fuck off.
I mean, the one thing that I will say that I will take away from this is whether or not you're a security guard on the Bibby Stockholm or you're a security guard working for McDonald's, you're no better than a fucking Nazi guard if you're willing to pour boiling hot water on a sleeping homeless person, or if you're willing to tell someone that's desperate for help to shut up. Know the difference between right and wrong, okay? Because you know deep in your heart that no matter who you're working for, if you're told to tell someone that's desperately in need to shut up, or you're told to pour water on someone that's trying to just get some kip somewhere safe, you know the difference. And the problem with this government is, and their rhetoric is, that they're making people question the difference between right and wrong. And the whole philosophy, I think, behind what all of us are doing is that we want people to do the right thing. We want better for this country. And that guy deserved better. There's been a lot of spin about like news stories retracted saying that he was a doctor. Whether he was a doctor or a cleaner, that man deserved to be treated with humility and dignity, and that's what they're taking away from us. So I would say that was a damning indictment and a consequence of the government performatively beating up the most vulnerable people in our society to try and win votes at any cost. Fucking oppose it.
Yeah, and Sarah saying in the chat he was a human being. Thanks to Real Phil for the super chat. Have a great Christmases. Not about much. I was working a lot. Enjoy. Thank you very much. And hi to me mum who's watching.
Oh, hello, Graham's mum. I love you. Make a funny roast.
Darren, was there one story that stood out for you this week?
Yes. A disabled woman said she cannot afford food or heating after the Department of Work and Pensions cut all her benefits following a phone assessment.
Jesus Christ.
Said her personal independence payment totaling £600 a month was stopped in November. And when they asked the DWP, their reply was, it was the right decision.
Fuck off. It is.
Yeah. Because
mate, what the hell? Why are we putting up with this? Why isn't everything on fire? At least to keep us warm.
It is. It is on fire.
It's on fire down where you are. Down
here.
there.
Oh, it's fire enough though, is it? I mean, the place.
Everything is not fine.
Yeah, because like I'm trying to think what she was suffering. She's even going to have a mobile scooter taken off her on Monday as well.
Wow.
I mean, I worked in social housing before the pandemic, and it was the most depressing job I've ever had, because my job was to fob in social housing off people like that and tell them that, oh, you know, someone will get around to it. And then they'll spend years going around in circles on phones with people like me. And because I tried to problem solve, my contract wasn't extended. So I wasn't extended because I was trying to help people. And this is what you've got, whether it's a social housing organisation or the council. Their job is to bodge jobs. They'll come out, they'll like pretend to fix a job. They fucking won't. Your house will be a state still, but they'll like tick the bare minimum so they won't face consequences. This is a disgrace. This is a reason for people not to be proud to be British anymore.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
One of countless reasons why people should be proud to be British.
say the thing is, this speaks. It's quite personal. I've told you, Graham, about my situation, what I had to deal with, especially after I had to have my emergency spinal operation after my back just gave out, and I've had to have a disc removed, and my mobility is knackered. I used to walk for about 8 hours. Give me about 10 minutes. I'm in agony, so I'm shut. As you know, I've told you a couple of times, haven't I, Graham? So
yeah.
So this stuck out for me like a blind cobbler's thumb.
I actually called up LBC yesterday to talk to Sheila Fogarty about the fact that the Tories have done away with their disability minister, and they'll be taking on the role of, someone else will be taking it on as an add-on to their ministerial roles anyway. And just the fact that the Tories, unless you are born rich and able in this country, the Tories do not give a flying fuck about you.
No,
I mean, you're worth more to them dead. And that's why we need to stand up and fight against these, because all they want is for us to shut up. All they want in the world is for us to stop doing this, to stop going out and, protesting, writing nasty tweets, making videos, talking about the shit they're doing, because they want to control the means of communication, and we upset the fact that they do that. And that's why I think a lot of the people who criticize us, who pretend to be on our side, I'm like, who's paying you? I get a bit sus about that.
Mate. Like, I'm laser focused on one thing, and that is destroying these fuckers. So, it's water for ducks back. I hope those people, those dickheads that are supposed to be on our side, when they're asked by their grandkids what they did to oppose the most fascistic government we've ever had in our times, that they turn around to their grandkids and they feel proud when they say, "Oh, I tried to take down the dickheads that were trying to bring them down." I hope they.
Well done, well done, those dickheads.
Those dickheads, right? They were dickheads, right? They were trying to actually do something. Yeah, I was focused on them, not the fascists.
But why weren't you perfect, Tan? Why weren't you perfect?
Yes, where's your principles?
Come on.
Yes. Where's your left-leading principles?
Oh, I'm sorry for being a fucking pragmatist.
For being stop being a normal human being, Tan. Yes. Stop living in society.
How dare you be pragmatic in this modern society where we need pragmatism to get things done?
You want us to stop burning fossil fuels? Have you ever been in a car then? Yes. Yeah, you have. Well, shut up then.
You're supposed to be so far left, you're nearly touching.
Bring it on. Those on the ducks back, mate.
It's like saying to someone who's like, I'm a vegetarian, and they go, "Oh, how long have you been a vegetarian for?" "Oh, 30 years. "Oh, so you used to eat meat?" "Well, it doesn't count then." And you're like, "Well, Anyway, so I just want to say, if I had my story, Christopher pointed this out, that the 140,000 children who are homeless, that was pointed out by Keir Starmer and PMQs this week. 140,000 children in this country right now are homeless. So that was
4.2 million are living in poverty right now.
Yeah,
and that's Starmer's fault.
It's 16 million is disabled.
Totally Keir Starmer's fault, that.
Yeah,
Keir Starmer.
Just like everything that's happening in geopolitical fucking wars is
yes, everything that's happening in Gaza is also Starmer's fault somehow.
Can I just point out, despite being a massive supporter of Just Stop Oil, I wish they'd focus their fucking efforts on ministers.
Yes.
Rather than going for the easy target of the opposition leader who's got no fucking power. If you stood outside, I don't think the police presence in that kind of carol singing operation was in any way justified, but I think you should focus your efforts on doing what Greenpeace did, which is tarping a fucking prime minister's house. That does shit. That's what people will get on board with, because very few people like this Conservative government. Focus on the fucking Tories who actually have the power to do stuff. I'm not saying this from any loyalty to Keir Starmer. I don't have personal loyalty to Keir Starmer. I just think Labour, as the sum of their parts, are better for this country than this current Tory establishment. That's it. Focus your attentions on the people who are actually fucking doing it.
Yeah. Give me some of what I want instead of absolutely everything I don't want, which is what the Tories are giving me at the moment. Finally, John, we're going to have to wrap up in a minute, but could you just quickly give us what was your sort of news story of the week?
I think it was another addition to the Tory fucknut bank. Well, there's loads of them already. Nick Fletcher, who's been off the radar for a little while, MP for Don Valley, with his speech that he did in Parliament during the week, where he complained about he goes to his local hospital and nobody speaks bloody English, and it was just
Powell
honestly,
would have been proud, wouldn't he?
Oh, it was the most astoundingly bad, cringy, horrid speech that I've heard in a long, long time. And
I can imagine, I can imagine Enoch Paul would have had a woody in his coffin, wouldn't he?
Well, bad Enoch would have also been been very happy about that either. I don't know if she was sitting behind him or something, but yeah, I mean, it was just. For me, it was just like you've got the usual ones. You've got the Bravermans, Mark Francois, etc. We know who they are. We know the headbangers. We know them all. But Fletcher was I knew was he's a Tory, so he's down there anyway. But he'd been off my radar for a little bit, and then wallop. He just it was like it's like in a sort of a chart of wankers. He's gone from number 33 to number 1 in 1 week, which doesn't happen very often.
Top of the pops, yeah.
Just go back to the Christmas chart analogy.
We'd have top 40 countdown, shouldn't we, of Tory wankers? But it would just be like all at number 1. Yeah. It would just be like joint number 1s.
Yeah,
that's what we should do. Why don't we do that and just make them all number 1?
Make them all number 1.
With a smashing nicey show.
Great
Thank you very much to Emma Price for the super chat. I so wish I still worked for PIP. I made sure I justified and explained the situation, but I couldn't keep it up. Any idea that people were taking the piss is delusional. I was humbled by the courage. That's from Emma Price. And just before we go, I just want to say, good news. Today, the High Court decided that the Mirror had hacked Prince Harry and other people's phones, and they on at least 15 different occasions, and Penis Morgan was mentioned quite a lot.
Did you see his unhinged rant?
Yes, and he came out and he was on the verge of tears because I think he knows he's going to spend some time in Wormwood Scrubs by the looks of things. And then the news that broke while we were doing the show of Rudy Giuliani having to pay. He's been told that he's got to pay $148 million in damages to these 2 clerks that were working in Georgia, who he claimed were tampering with the election. He claimed that they were guilty of election fraud, and now he's just been massively, massively sued, hopefully out of existence. So, the wheels of justice turn far too slowly, but they do turn. So thank you, everyone. Yeah. Thanks, Tan. Thanks for the balloon. Do you make those balloons happen, or do they just?
I think this does something.
Is that just your camera?
It's only you.
I've got something turned on. I think that.
What? So if it thumbs up, you get balloons. See, I'm not getting any.
No, neither am I.
Yeah, I think it's just Tan's got a special thing. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm not. This isn't even going through Zoom. Anyone who's got clear skies tonight, please take a minute to go outside and look up, because it's the Geminid meteor shower. So if you look for Orion, it's really easy to spot. Just to the left of Orion, that's where the Geminids should be coming from tonight. They're quite colourful. You get multicoloured shooting stars tonight. If you want to go and do that. It's overcast. There's nothing you can do. But if you can get out, please get out. And I'll be back next week with more Labour Social. But if I don't see you before, have a bloody Merry Christmas. Thanks to all my guests. Thanks to all the everyone in the chat.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.